Hi guys, thank you for tuning into our very first podcast. Apologies for the delay. Those of you who've been following our stories saw this go out in, I think, January, and we're now in May. And yes, it's taken us a lot longer. It's taken me a lot longer to edit than I had envisaged. The pre-planning was minimal, but the post-edit learning curve was colossal. Mainly because we had a lot of audio issues. This mic was too close. You see in this podcast, it was up here, so it was very scratchy in places. And also, I had recorded it in stereo, so my audio was on the left channel, Frank was on the right, so which meant when you listen to it, it was just very awkward. So I've had to spend a lot of time manually switching between audios when he's talking, when I'm talking. So a lot of manual work around, a lot of me trying to fix the audio. First podcast is not perfect. Hopefully the quality of the content is good. You guys will enjoy it. But yes, apologies for the audio. The next one we've recorded already. Hopefully the next audio will be better, and we will get better as the podcast progresses. We always said that it won't be perfect for the first time around, but as we progress, it will get better and better. So we've been asked, why did we do this podcast? Why not? So we felt we wanted to build this platform. We're not too sure where it's going. Maybe we'll have some guests. Maybe we'll have some regular features. But right now, we're just starting a podcast. We said that we'll do one every month. It's now May. We've done 2. We will get better at this. I think I'm just going to get better at the post-edit workflow process in the producing these podcasts. There's a lot of editing, a lot of cutting out the ums and ahs, a lot of dead space, but it will get better, I promise. Other things to mention, products that we had in the background, they're not paid ads, by the way, not yet anyway. So these are products that people that we fuck with, products that we had in office, randomly just used to fill the space. So yeah, none of them are paid, not yet anyway. So if you wanted your product in the background for our next podcast, feel free to drop me a line. But right now, it's kind of a bit of a freestyle for us right now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Like I said, we're not sure where this podcast is going. A bit of an introduction on this podcast. It's me and Frank just shooting the shit, chatting about Hydra Bros, how we started, some of the trials and tribulations, some of the stories, some rapid fire questions at the end. Yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and let me know your feedback. Let me know in the comments. Let me know your feedback in stories. Shout me, call me. Let me know your thoughts on how we can do better. And if you have got experience in this field, in terms of equipment, we don't want to blow the budget, but if you've got any tips on how we can make this better, more seamless, more efficient in producing this, I am all ears.
We're live. Well, we're not live.
I listened. I don't think live would be a good idea, mate.
No, mate. Fucking hell. Good testing. Say something, Frank.
You sure?
Yeah. It works. I almost feel like, how does Joe Rogan start his podcast? I'm watching up.
But the thing is, the difference between him is like he's dealing with guests. So the way he started is like, "Hi, you're right. Da 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 da. Do you want to introduce yourself?"
No, even before that, he does the whole kind of responsive by. Before that,
Oh yeah. It's like an intro.
Yeah, what's his intro?
Oh, it's just like music, and it used to be Nick Diaz, isn't it? Oh, Joe Rogan. Oh, day.
Is it?
Oh no. And then it like fades in, and then he's there, and then.
What about other podcasts you ever listen to? What do they start
What
with?
else do I listen to? All the podcasts I listen to, funny enough, they're never like two like co-hosts.
Yeah.
It's always someone interviewing someone. So I don't actually watch anything with co-hosts, so I can't tell you. I've only seen like cut-ups of stuff, so I never see the introduction. I only see like sort of them talking. So fuck knows is the answer.
What's the purpose of this podcast, Frank?
I guess because we actually have genuine stuff to talk about. Like if we ever run out of stuff to talk about, I guess we won't do it anymore because we're not gonna. Or as it stands now, we're not going to talk about politics.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about like the state of the world. We're here to talk about.
I was watching Joe Rogan's first podcast, and how shit it was. He was doing screensaver and shit. Someone commented, from this to interviewing the president of the United States.
Yeah.
Just something, and you said like, yeah, we're not talking about politics. Maybe we will.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Right now, like just talking about how we started up Hydra Bros alone, yeah, that's like a couple hours. So I guess if we ever got to the stage where we were just talking about bollocks, about Kim Kardashian, I'm fucking out. See you later. But as long as I've got stuff to talk about, Oh,
Listen, if Kim Kardashian rang us up and said, listen,
fuck that plastic bitch. To be fair, I say that until she starts talking numbers.
yeah.
You start talking numbers, I'm gonna start getting real friendly, real quick.
The reason why we do want to do this podcast is and invite people on to promote, talk about what a lot of people always in the industry are always talking about. This person's that, this person's this, and I think this would be a good platform for people to come on and kind of talk from their point of view. I do us a favour. You see that red button? That's fucking annoying. Is that going to keep flashing? And
Listen, you're the technical wizard here, mate. I can see it flashing, but
more
fuck
than
no,
fucking
stop it.
pull it out. Fucking turn off the phone.
I didn't even see it. The box, the monkey box was hiding it. Where was we?
Reasons for podcasting, getting people on.
If we're gonna talk to people, I don't want it to be like, those pretend conversations. Hi, bro. How are you?
Yeah.
Fuck all of that. If you haven't got anything interesting to say, fuck off. Like, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear you waffling bollocks.
Yeah.
Like, if they've got something interesting to say, I want to hear it. But if you're just gonna talk shit and be annoying for an hour, like, I'm not fucking interested. And you know what would be nice as well?
Go on.
For them, is like putting like a name and a face to certain products. So like Athena is just like a headless, faceless.
In the UK.
In the UK, yeah, product. Like I don't have any face to like necessarily associate to Athena. Like I think of Athena and I make up in my own mind what whoever owns it, what I think they look like. I don't actually have a reference. So I guess it'd be good for like some people. Maybe some people don't want to do that, but for people that do, how they speak, where they're from, what they say. Because sometimes someone will talk for 10 seconds, you'll be like, he's a cunt. Like immediately you're like, this guy's a dickhead. But some guys like Sam, our student, as soon as you talk to Sam, you're like, this guy's cool. And he's cool straight away. Where I'm not going to name him, but a new guy that we've had recently, he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
As soon as you talk to him for 2 minutes, you're like,
I'm out. See you later.
No, there's no one that comes to mind who I'm like, let's get that guy. But the thing is, you're more situated to know who's worth talking to.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. So, what advice would you give to people looking to start the business?
Do not go into this industry. Such a small, rocky industry. Like there's so many other industries in which you can make money. Like if you're gonna pour 6 years, 7 years into something, do another thing, man. Do something that's more secure. Like do something that for the most part is gonna be there in 10 years time or be there in 5 years time. Like we could literally wake up tomorrow and whatever dickhead is running the country at the moment could be like, right, no more hydro shops. See, done. Everything we did, down the toilet, all the hard work, down the toilet, and there's no one to defend us. Like there's nothing to be done. Whereas if you're like I'm not saying this is like necessarily a great way to earn money, but if you're a mechanic, so you're not going to be out of work, or if you own a garage, you're not going to stop using cars anytime soon. So yeah, my advice to you, mate, is get into a stronger industry. That's the mistake that we made. I say go into an industry where like there's more range and it's not so sketchy. And you don't have to deal with sketchy characters. Because like even when we started this business, I never considered what you're like for the majority of what your customers are.
Most of the people that come through our doors, they're not sketchy. Obviously, you got the Albanians that come in. They always, I think their persona comes off sketchy, but when you get to know them,
No, they're good people.
Yeah.
Listen, I have dealt with one Albanian guy. Remember Becky?
Yeah.
I've dealt with one Albanian guy since we had this shop. Yeah. One of the most honourable fucking men. Yeah, I've ever worked with in my life. Like I remember when we was doing some fucking work like related to the shop, and I remember like I give him a load of stock and he didn't pay for it, and I messed up not taking the money, and then I phoned him and he was long gone. He could have never come back to the shop. I'd have never seen him again. There was no way for me to recoup the money.
Yeah.
And I phoned him and I was like, bro, I fucked up. Like I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have give you that. Bro, came back, squared everything away. Best guy. So the whole
keep in touch.
Do you know what? The phone, obviously he got arrested and went to prison, and then he went back to Albania.
Yeah.
And then he was bouncing around. Like the phone I used to talk to him on, fucking I stopped using it, and then I forgot the passcode, so now I can't get back into it. So like contact him again. But he knows, like, if he's ever in the UK, he knows I'm
where.
here.
Yeah.
So like he knows where to find me, because me finding him ain't never.
The selfish reason for me asking whether he's still in touch with me, he's still got a fucking box fan he wanted us to make, which is still downstairs. Fucking 3-way box fan. I can't remember what power it is, but 1 in, 3 out, or 3 in, 1 out. Fuck's sake, we've had that for fucking.
Mate, box fans, man.
I've had that like 3 years.
Do people still use those?
We don't sell that many of them, but
I see.
people.
Who's that geezer? That redhead geezer that sells all the second-hand hydro.
Oh, I know, guy. Yeah.
I see him with a fucking shitload of like old school stuff. I guess it's still usable.
Yeah.
You know? I guess you can still use it. I guess.
Yeah.
But
I think if you're doing big jobs and you don't want to spunk a load of money on, not spunk, like as in waste.
Yeah.
You haven't got the budget
but
for
the risk factors.
Yeah.
You spend all the money on the Gucci stuff and the fucking door comes off.
Yeah. So box 300 odd quid. Used probably 100 quid.
Mate, moving those things around is a bastard. They are a fucking bastard.
Those new thermo ones though, they're amazing.
Well, the plastic ones.
Foamy ones, yeah.
See, I've seen them on the side. I ain't never touched them. I've just seen
them. They're light, mate.
In here, I've never used them.
They're light. I think when people see it, they're like, first things first, they're like, is it going to fucking burn down, melt? And when you assure them that it's not going to.
They're solid.
Yeah, they're solid. They're light. Yeah.
To burn.
Yeah. It's quieter, lighter. I think what sells it for them is how fucking light it is when they're hanging these things on the struts.
Bro, with the box fan, when I've been trying to hang it, I'm having a fucking nightmare, mate.
Yeah.
Nightmare. And I've had them like fall off the ceiling, bro. And one of them falls off the ceiling, falls 7 foot and hits the floor, mate. Problems.
What scares me even more is when you're hanging them up. It's when you're hanging a heavy carbon fiber, yes, if it falls, it's going to be a problem. But when those box fans, they've got fucking sharp corners.
Mate, I remember one of them dropped.
I'll take someone out.
This was years ago. I'm having like a horrible flashback, but I remember like one of them dropped off the roof, and I've walked into this house, and it's like a house that's converted into flats, and the top flat. I walk in, yeah, and the house is fucking whole house, yeah, is vibrating. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Walking upstairs, get to the flat. As soon as I let myself in, I know what the fuck that is, yeah.
Yeah.
I walk in, yeah, and I just. The box fan's fallen off the roof. The box fan's broke. The wooden box is broken, and the metal fan inside is just on the raw floor.
Fucking
hell, vibrating the whole building. So how that never came on top, I do not know. But
that is fucking crazy.
That was years ago.
Well, how did it fall off? Was it the struts gave them away, or
just? I don't remember exactly, but I was inexperienced.
Did you pin it down on someone's fault? I don't
know what we. Sorry.
Did you pin it down on someone's fault?
No.
You're always troubleshooting. You need to find out.
Panic. Like when you found it was a panic. So it was just like didn't really have time
fix
to
it.
Yeah, it was just
fix
like, fix it. So we fixed it, but I can't remember what it was. But we were super inexperienced, man. I remember like having to put like light tile, black and white on the wall. Yeah. I remember the first time I ever did it, I taped it to the wall with gaffer tape, yeah?
Yeah.
Come back the next day, it's all falling off. Of course it's falling off. The tape's heated up in the room, because the lights, obviously the room's hot, it's all falling off. It's like, what sort of dickhead attaches black and white?
And it's not until you make those mistakes, you're like...
No, so obviously you attach with batten. It's not going to be affected by the environment, but yeah.
Yeah, it's funny actually, we just put up a poster using fucking gaffer tape. What happens? Fucking peel the floor. What am I with it?
Before we end,
we're not even started our fucking podcast.
Before we end this topic of conversation, I'll tell you a story about that flat, yeah, the one where the box fan dropped on the roof, yeah. But this is when I know, like in life-threatening situations, there's a good chance I'm gonna live, yeah. We're there. I'm filling up the bath, yeah. I overfill the bath. It runs over onto the floor. I think I clock it and stop it. Then boom, 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 bang at the door, yeah. Obviously, I'm not opening the door, yeah? I'm there with my pal, I'm not opening the door. They keep banging on the door, I'm like, I'm not opening that door. We're working, yeah? All of a sudden I see blue lights, yeah? Like, I look out the window, I see a fire engine, yeah? No, no fire, not you me. Don't make the connection, yeah, at this point. Carry doing what I'm doing, all of a sudden I hear, boom, 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 London Fire Brigade, open the door! I'm like, oh My fucking God. And bearing in mind, this happens in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
1 minute I'm just kind of around doing what I'm doing. Next minute I'm dealing with that, yeah? So in the corridor, there's like all shit on the floor. There's like 10-litre Ferro containers, all sorts of shit, yeah? I've gone in a moment of fucking genius, yeah? I rip off my clothes, so I'm naked. I open the door.
Yeah.
I'm like, you all right, guys? What's up? Like, let me just grab a towel, yeah? So as I say grab a towel, there's going to be like another few seconds of like, there's like leaves on the floor and shit, to like put this up. I go back and like, what's the plan down now? I'm like, what's up? I'm like, I'm so like, I'm really sorry. I opened the bath by accident. I'm like, yeah, look. So they can stick their head in there and they can look to the right and see that the bath overfilled and look on the floor. Bro, if they look up, yeah. So if they look up, there's a we've made a hole in the wall, yeah. And there's a pair of ducts, silver back there, coming through the wall. So they just go, what? They're gonna see this back there, yeah. So I'm naked, like semi-naked with a t-shirt back my head. They're like, they look a bit bewildered, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh mate, sweet. You can see the problem. Be careful.
Yeah.
Cool. Close the door. Bro, one of the closest calls of my fucking life, yeah. But if I hadn't taken my clothes off, I don't try to get away with it.
Yes.
I definitely threw with the nakedness before, because most of my trying to look at dicks, so. Get naked, get naked. Naked, get naked. I don't know how many times you can play that card, bro. Okay. You digress.
Right. Let's start the podcast. So,
before we start,
go on.
Fucking me up. That one over there.
No, it's that one up there.
That one.
Yeah.
I
got it.
Don't turn it necessarily off at 30 degrees.
No, so I'll turn it. Oh, and no, that is ridiculous.
I can see you have the heating high in your house.
No, this is Ellie. Ellie keeps it on at 5,000 degrees, mate.
Well, go on.
So start the podcast. Introduce the podcast. We've done that. Purpose. We've done that. Who we are on podcast goal. Have we done that? Podcast goal.
Who we are on podcast goal? No, I guess we haven't.
Brief introduction, Hydro Bros.
We try and give people what they need when they need it for the best price that we can give as efficiently as possible, given the parameters in which we're working in. Because you've got to remember, like, we're not Sainsbury's. No one's trying to help us. Like, as an industry, everyone's trying to hinder us. The banks, the world, the country. Like, no one in our industry is trying to help us. So we're trying to provide guys with like a Harrod service, but we're constantly having to fight wolves to produce this service.
Actually giving a shit.
Yeah. I remember when we started. I don't know if you remember.
Go on.
I used to make a point. Remember, I'm not a very subservient guy. But do you remember, like, every time we would wrap people's shit, we would walk it to their car, carry it for them, we'd put it in their boot, just because we wanted to give a good service. Now, I didn't like it because I didn't like the fact that, like, I was carrying shit for people. But at the same time, that was like a personal thing I didn't like. But my bigger goal was to, like, give a good service. The whole reason that I thought that I could approach you and talk about opening one of these type of shops was just because the service was so fucking horrendous that I just thought we could do so much better. And not even do better, like, do better with not a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Just be polite. Just be like, "Hello, mate, you alright? I can help."
Yeah.
See that back up, mate?
Be polite. Give a shit.
Yeah.
And know each other.
Oh yeah, and don't waffle. If you don't know something, just say. So if they come in and like, "I've got this huge problem. I don't know what's going on."
Yeah.
You don't know, say, "You know what, mate? I've never had this problem before.
Yeah.
I don't know how I can help. I can ask some people that may have had this problem, and I can endeavour to help you. But don't sit here for 20 minutes telling me this product's going to fix the fucking problem. So then I go home and use said product. It doesn't fix my problem. And then you're wondering why I'm fucking irate when I come back to the shop."
One of the good things that we've got is we've got the links with everyone in the industry. But if we don't understand something, we'll call up someone. Blue Lab, I call up some growth technology.
Now, but there was a time these people didn't want to give us an account.
Indeed.
And there wasn't none of that. And we had to just...
I think back in the day, they had the luxury of picking and choosing their horses. I remember when we tried to open an account with, it was Maxi Bright. He rang me up and his words were, you've got to be careful which horse he backs, i.e., do we know a load of people already that grows so we can open up a shop and just fucking sell to them? And I pretty much said, well, no, we don't have that, in a roundabout way. And he was like, I'm in an RN. I don't know what secured it for us in the end. But I thought maybe it was just a case of...
What secured it for us is that nothing secured it for us. We had to like persevere.
Yeah.
We had to buy stuff from wholesalers. Maybe we wouldn't necessarily want to buy stuff, or buy stuff we didn't necessarily want, but we had to buy it to
We'll come back on this. Let's go through how we met first. How did we meet?
Do you know what, bro? I don't remember I don't remember our first... I tell you when I remembered what I remember.
Yeah.
I don't have a first memory, because it's weird, because I know, just from even pictures I can see online now, that there's times when you and me were in each other's proximity.
Yeah.
But I don't have a recollection, like a reference of them. But I tell you when I was like, that's my guy. Like, you see when you was at 10th Planet?
Yeah.
And I walked in there. Obviously, for anyone who's never trained before, when you walk into a gym, like a jiu-jitsu gym, MMA gym, boxing gym, Muay Thai gym, whatever, when you first walk in, no matter what, whether you're good or not good, whatever, it's intimidating. You're walking into a place, you don't know anyone, it's intimidating. I walk in there, I'm a little bit like, oh, fuck me, I'm in a new place, but whatever, I'm there, I'm dealing with it. And I saw you already in there.
Stretching
like,
and shit.
I was like a fellow rebel. I'm like, yes, that's my guy. And then that's my first memory. Recollection.
My memory of you was we was in that pokey kind of corner. You know when in Crawley they had that little kind of section off bit, and it's small. It's probably like the size of this office.
But it had with the walls and that. Like, it was like little boxing bit.
Yeah, little boxing bit. There's a little kind of step up bit.
Yeah, I remember.
I remember I was warming up. I think I was doing fucking gi then, and you and Della Huntley came in, and just fucking both of you had this big tattoo on. Did you have the same tattoo?
I don't have a big tattoo, okay? I have a few words on my neck.
No, it was the lips. I'm fat. Have you still got? Yeah. I see that. And I was like, who's this guy? And you guys are fucking going at it. I was like, fucking hell. That was my first recollection of you.
Was we grappling? We must be grappling. I didn't do MMA then. We was 100%.
It was, yeah. It's just jiu-jitsu. And then, it was just, through jiu-jitsu. That's my first memory of you anyway.
Well, that's how we know each other from.
And then I found out through conversation, you own that shop in Hawley. And I used to go past that shop. I was like, what the fuck is this shop with mirrored, blacked out windows? Yeah. And then through conversation, he was like, you own it or owned it. And I was like,
yeah, it's my shop.
Yeah, in my head, I was like, what the fuck does this guy do? What the fuck does he do?
It was so sketchy.
Yeah, proper.
So we talked about how we met. What did we do before Hydra Bros?
I guess the first real civilian job I did was security and door work. I worked security at Harrods. I was actually earning, for the time, I was on 25 grand a year,
Yeah.
It was classes really good money. But obviously no one had really taught me money management at that point. And I would get paid my wages, but by the end of the first week, I'm broke. And I've got to get to work, which is in Knightsbridge, for the next 3 weeks. And then I remember that literally after that job was when I never really, from that job, since I was 22, I've never had don't want to misquote myself. Yeah, I've never had a 9 to 5 since that job, because I remember just being this can't work. This doesn't work. I'm like, I can't keep doing this 12-hour days. I think it's 4 days a week, 12-hour days. Yeah. It was a shift. So you might work 4 days a day after, and it's all different. But I remember doing it and being this can't work. Enough. But granted, I wasn't managing my money well. I would have managed my money well. It may well have worked. I'm seeing these Arab guys, just balling out in Harrods. I'm like,
that's interesting.
I'm doing something backwards. It doesn't work. I'm like, I don't know what I need to do, but I know it's not this.
Had you not been at Harrods and seen these Arab guys coming in, would that have slowed down your progress, or
it wouldn't have changed it?
Would it fast forward?
The reason it wouldn't have changed it is because I just associated Arabs with money. So I knew I couldn't be Arab. So I knew I couldn't have, in my mind, this is what's going on in my little brain. It's well, I can't go their way because I'm not Arab.
They're inherited.
I just saw that they had money. I wasn't thinking, I need to get money the same way.
I'm going to become an Arab and just automatically get money.
I just knew that I had to get more money.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's what I'm stuck on. I was like, okay, so how do I get more money?
What did you do after that?
Lots of shit. But doing lots of shit, I realised like there's a cost to getting. You can get lots of money, yeah. There are ways to get lots of money, but some of those ways have like dire consequences. Like,
risk and reward, isn't it?
Yeah, just like use like
it's your tolerance.
Cocaine as an example, yeah. It's like there's people that are in jail right now for like cocaine charges, whether it's fucking distribution, whatever, yeah. For like 20 years, 17 years, 25 years, 15 years, and I always remember that saying like, if you're not prepared to do the time, yeah. Don't do the crime. And in my younger years, when I dabbled with some stupid shit, I remember thinking like, I ain't doing 20 years. Like, I'm not prepared to do 20 years.
Yeah,
like, when I came to that realization that like, I'm not prepared to sit in prison for 20 years, that limited my focus on what I can do and can't do to make money. So like, I always did it on a risk reward. Like, okay, I'm going to make X amount of money, but what's it potentially going to cost me? Oh, it's going to cost me 20 years. I ain't doing that. There's other things where like the people that are involved in those industries are like such terrible people. That also put me off.
That what you said of realizing I can't do that. I was in a job, so I graduated. I got myself. I found 9 till 5, and I moved on to another 9 till 5, just job hopping. There was like a final salary scheme, and I was like, well, what is that? What it means is, I could make a total hash of it. I don't think they exist anymore. Is they'll give you a pension based on your years served and your final salary, i.e. the motivation is that you will keep moving up the ranks, because when you come to retire, your pension is based on whatever your final salary is and your years served. So that means I've got to be here forever. I'm not going to be here for more than 6 months. In my head, I was like, this can't run. I'm not. That's why I started doing contracting work, which is short, because it means you're there, but it'll come to a natural end. And when you get a shit day or shit week, you think, do you know what? I've only got 4 months left. Just fucking grind it out and I'm done. And you just finish the contract. No one's angry. It just comes to a natural end. You go, oh, yeah, sorry, mate, I've got something else on. Rather than go, oh, I want to do my job. So contracting worked out well for me.
Well for you as well, because you don't like conflict.
Yeah,
I hate conflict. So if you can have like,
you're just grind it out.
Always the guy of path of least resistance. So if like you could be like, I've got a 6 month get out. Like there's no confrontation. It's just over. Yeah. And if I want to stay, I can. If I don't want to stay, I can just out the back door.
I was just like, oh,
that suits you perfectly.
Yeah, no, for sure. Or I try and change things at work, and if I'm met with few like resistance of where they're just like, nope, that's not happening. I'm like, do you know what? I'm being paid a day rate. I'll do whatever you want me to do. Fuck it, I'll do it. It's just not the right way, and it's not the most efficient. But fuck, if you want me to move these, if you want me to move letters and numbers from this fucking spreadsheet to another PowerPoint, fucking, I'll do it. It's dog shit work, but fuck it, I've only got a few more months. I'm done. Yeah. You know, but yeah, it's that's what led me to.
So if you would do it, so I remember finding out how much you earned.
Yeah.
Obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, Chinese people do not like speaking about how much money they make. They're trying to talk about anything like that, start trying to get blood out of stone. But I don't know how it happened, but I managed to like backstep into a corner and figure out how much he earned a month. And let me tell you now, when I found out how much he earned a month, that's when I was like, I knew you was smart anyway, but I meet a lot of smart people, and that doesn't always translate into money. I know a lot of broke, smart people. But then when I heard how much money you made, I was like, oh, this fucker's clever. And he makes money. I was like, I can work with this.
Do you know, it's not about being clever, it's about being consistent and reliable.
Functional, functional. Like, it's got to make sense. Like, I've come across people before where like, I don't really know how to articulate this because I'm not a poet, but it's like, they're almost so smart that they don't care about money. Because they're almost like they're operating on different software. Like what I see as important, or things that I think that I need, they don't see as important. Like the unfortunate thing is a lot of those guys end up like, they die penniless. Yeah. I look at Tesla. You know that guy, Nikola Tesla? Well, anyway, he's a super famous dude,
Is Tesla not Elon Musk?
No.
Am I chatting shit?
Elon, you're getting electric and Tesla crossed over. Tesla is an old school scientist. Nikola Tesla.
Right. Sorry.
Like him, he died one of the smartest people to ever live. We all still talk about him. We're talking about him now.
Yeah.
Died of not pot pissing. So a lot of these fucking super intelligent guys, it doesn't. But my point is, it doesn't always translate into money. Yeah, for whatever the fucking reason it is. But with you, you was smart and you was paid. So it's like, okay, so we can leverage this intelligence into money. I'm like, right, because I don't view myself as very clever. Like, I don't think I'm very smart, but it's like I've got a few skills and I can use them well. Ask me what my 7 times table is. Can't help you. Yeah. But give me a problem, and I can probably solve it, or find someone that can solve it.
So I don't think it's about me being smart. It's more about being.
Bro, you are smart. You have like our website, yeah. For the people that are listening, yeah, I haven't done fuck all, yeah. When it comes to building that website, nothing. I've not worked 10 seconds. All right, we've maybe spoken about it in meetings, and I've maybe given like a slight bit of direction, but that's all Steve. Like, Steve did not know how to build a website. Never built a website in his life. Go look at our website and tell me if that's a website.
It's a good website. It's not about being smart. It's not about being clever. It's about being driven. Yeah. That's the thing that keeps me and you in this game, and having got to where we are now. The drive and knowing where you want to get to, and knowing that you're not going to fail, not wanting to fail, not wanting to lose.
Yeah.
That's how we got to where we are today. Yeah, I didn't know how to make a website, but
fuck it, figure it out. But
you got to figure it out. It's not something so bad. You figure it out.
The thing I say you're smart because you didn't just figure it out.
The thing though, that I need to kind of dial back in. You say it all the time. It doesn't have to be perfect.
No, yeah.
Just need to, and I'm trying. I take that on board. Like, it isn't like, even like we're doing this podcast. It's not fucking perfect, but you got to start.
Yeah, exactly.
And everything else will come with it.
And that's how Hydro Bros started. It's like, if we would have waited until it was perfect, we never would have opened. But that's one thing like that I see so many people don't do, is they never start. It's like everyone says, oh, I haven't got enough money or whatever bollocks they're coming out with, but like most of them, they never start. They never try. Like, there's so many people that I see that in my opinion are smarter than me, have more skills than me, are just better than me, and they're working 9 to 5 on 30k a year because they just don't have the whatever the term is.
Drive.
Try.
Yeah.
Just try.
Well, it's a combination of drive and fear, and they don't have that. They don't have that voice.
I'm gonna take the jump off.
Shit.
My armpits are sweating. Oh, sorry. I
interrupted. Right, let's get back to the structure. So we talked about what you did before Hydro Bros. What did I do before Hydro Bros? I was working 9 till 5, contracting.
Every time you talk about your
mate,
one term that always comes to mind.
Go on.
Yeah? You used to say every day, I want to kill myself.
Yeah.
Bro, you used to say that all to the time. You used to say it so often, that it became a running joke, where like we would talk and you'd be at work and be like, I want to fucking kill myself. I remember you stuff. I've never seen someone do so well at their job and hate it so much at the same time.
Yeah, what was it?
I think it was just the environment.
It's environment,
the people, like the monotonous days. It just. And then I remember as well, the law changed. And it fucked you contractors over.
Yeah.
And then that was another thing.
That was like a catalyst.
Yeah, another problem.
Yeah, it's like another now. You're like, do you know what? I can't be bothered anymore. I'm dealing with. So going to work. So I have to get a train and a tube, and you just know you're going to be met with the same people.
Bro, nothing's more depressing, than getting on a train or a bus in the morning, surrounded by like other miserable people going through the same thing that you're doing. Oh my god, I've not been on public transport now, for how old am I? I'm 39, 29. I haven't been on public transport for over 15, 16 years.
It's an experience. You should try it. You should try it.
No, I remember. I spent plenty of time on public transport when I was younger. I don't need any. I don't need to do it anymore. And you can find yourself getting into problems, and you didn't even leave your house for a problem. You can just go get on the bus, be going to wherever the fuck you're going, and now you've been punched in the face. It's like
that's what happened. So I was going to walk with Chloe around our way, and a bus came along.
And for reference, you live in a pretty nice area.
And the bus came along, so I said to Chloe, let's go in town. We just jumped on the bus. And I think he was a little bit mentally challenged, but we got on and we sat there, and he got on, and just randomly, started staring at someone and just coshed them in the face. Like, the fuck?
Yeah, and the thing is, that's normal now. Like, we aren't looking. And listen, I'm not out doing no charity work. Well, actually, I do a little bit of charity work, but I'm not out here really doing.
What charity work do you do?
You know, actually, I'm not even going to talk about it.
If you're giving money to homeless, if you're giving money to random homeless people again, can you not give money to random homeless people?
I gave a homeless person in front of Steve 20 quid once. Steve nearly lost his fucking mind. He's still not letting go. 3 years later, he's still not letting
My
go.
dad done the same thing. I'm like, why? Just give me the money.
Listen,
I need the fucking money.
You don't understand, right, the universal concept of, like, you must give to receive.
Yin and yang. Yeah.
Like,
No,
you
I
have
get
to,
that.
like, you can't. I don't have any proof of this, yeah, apart from like just life experience. But it's like you can't take, and never give.
Yeah.
And expect that to last. Like, if you have the means to, you should give. I don't mean give loads.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you've got £10, give a penny.
Yeah.
You know, you're giving. You're not going to miss it, but you're still giving, and you're not necessarily giving. And don't give to receive either. You shouldn't like be like, oh, well, if I give charity 10 grand, maybe the universe will triple this back. It doesn't work like that. But I definitely think that when you can give, you should give.
Well, right now, I can't give.
Yeah, but you have a very different. You're very different to me. That's why it works.
Yeah.
If you was like me, we'd fight each other.
I'm interested to find out what this charity work is. Anyway, so what we did before Hydra, we covered that. How we got started.
No, we haven't.
Have we not? Go on.
You got a degree. You was working at that. You was working where you said you was working. I was working at Harrods.
I was working for, right before this job, not fucking job, it's business. Right before Hydra Bros, I was working for HSBC.
I remember.
It's HSBC.
I remember. You was working. Whilst
Yeah.
Hydra Bros was going on, you was still.
It was a side
9
hustle.
to 5
I was working for HSBC when we set up. No, I worked for HSBC. It was a long-term contract. And it was the most I've ever been paid per day. And then I took some time out, did some traveling, came back.
I remember that when you went to China.
Yes.
That when we was like, and there was a point where we was like training every day.
Yes, yeah.
It was nice to have you around all the
Nice
time.
break, yeah. I think it was around that time we'd had some conversations.
Do you remember the catalyst that made you dive in? It was when you went to Company House.
Yes.
You went to Company House and you looked at some of the money that
I went on
Hydro
Company's
did, right? I
house.
can't remember the name
Hydro.
of the shop that was inside.
Yeah, you was like, oh, Steve, da. And I was like, what the fuck? What is this? All right, let me just. I remember. I was like,
I didn't even know. The thing is, this is how like unqualified I was.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah.
Like, you went on Company House. Oh yeah, I've been on there. I've looked at their accounts. I'm like, what? How?
I looked at
I
their
didn't know you could do
accounts,
that.
and I saw the first year their turnover was X. Then the next one was X times 2, and then the next one I think was X4. I was thinking,
And I can
fucking
tell you
hell.
now, yeah, whatever numbers you see on paper were probably not the fucking.
Oh yeah.
Not the real numbers.
Yeah. I tell if anyone, I invite anyone to look at our numbers on Company's house. It's not.
Yeah,
It doesn't look
doesn't
great.
look like those. Different. Hydro 10 years ago is not Hydro now. It's totally different. So I was working security. I fucked that off, and then I was doing door work because there was bare chicks and I was getting paid.
Yeah.
So it was literally.
clubs and bars.
Yeah. I was working on a door in one area, and then I was working on this door in this area, and then there was another guy. I won't say his name, but he used to come from Brixton, and basically, right. The bar will go to a company for security, but then that company will sublet that security to other guys. Yeah. So this company that had this door sublet it to this guy I'm speaking of, who would come from Brixton and he'd work on this door. And I was also working for this company. So how I met him was I was working for this company here, but then they gave the contract to him. So ergo gave me to him. So I was working underneath him, and he was a fucking bad boy. This was the first time I ever saw so I must have been like 24, 25. This was the first time I saw real money, like where I saw like 30 grand cash, 20 grand cash, 40 grand cash. And he would come to the door, and he wasn't the tallest guy in the world, but he was built like a tank. If you laid him on his side, he was the same height as standing up. And I remember he would I don't know if he was stunting on me. I don't really know now. As an adult now, I don't really know why he was showing me, but he did. And he would show me imagine he's on the door, where it can go off, all this shit happening, got 20 grand in his jacket, 30 grand in his jacket. And who knows who knows how he acquired it, yeah? But I remember seeing this money and I was thinking, oh man, this is a guy that you want to be around. Like, he's like, this is where the money's at. So then I started working on doors for him. Now, these doors took me to like, now I'm up in the city now. So I was working locally. Now I'm working in the doors in the city and bumping into other guys now. And cut a long story short, before I go all into it, I did door work for a bit. It started becoming not fun anymore. It started becoming ag. I stopped doing the door work, opened up a rubbish clearance business with my pal. That went really well, learnt a lot. We got fucked over just because of our poor business acumen, but we got fucked over nonetheless. That didn't work out. And then I bounced around trying to figure out something to do. And then that's when...
You had the head shop as well?
Oh, I had the head shop, but the head shop wasn't really... No, the head shop was after the rubbish clearance business. Just in between the rubbish clearance and you and me linking up. But the head shop was more like, I wanted the lockup behind. And the shop came with the lockup. So I did a few things in the shop just because I fucking had it. It was really successful. And nothing that I really put a lot of effort into. I did make good money with the head shop. But again, it was too much ag. I remember the police coming in one day. They bought some of the some legal hires in there. And bear in mind, these legal hires, I'm just buying from the supplier. I don't know anything about them. I'm just like, you're selling for me for £2 and they're legal. And I can sell them for like whatever. I was like, cool, it makes sense. But what I didn't realise is like, even though you buy it from the wholesaler, when you're selling it, it's still your responsibility. Yeah, so when they came in and bought it, and then I looked into it and realised, oh no, I'm liable. I was like, fuck this. And I knocked up and I just didn't want any dealings with them, and I just knocked it on the head. So then the next step for me after that was Hydro Bros.
What made you have the idea of opening Hydro Shop, and then what made you approach?
Yeah, I won't say their names because obviously I don't know if people want their names out there, but you know the geezer I'm talking about. Like, he had a Hydro Shop with another geezer who's a bit of a legend, some ginger geezer. I won't fucking say his name either, but them two, like, that was the first Hydro Shop that I went to, and they kind of like I would go in the back with them and chill and chat, and they would like teach me stuff about growing and like give me good deals on bits and pieces. And then by being around them, I would see the money they would make, and I was seeing the money they was making, and that's just what I was seeing visually. I wasn't like seeing their accounts or anything.
Ago was this? Well, what year was this?
Well, let's track it back. We've been open up for 6 years, right? And they were closed by the time we opened up. So we must be talking 10 years, right? Yeah, so let's just say 10. Let's use 10. It's maybe even longer than that, yeah. But let's just use 10 years as the metric because it's a long time. But yeah, I saw how much money they were making, right? And I was like, fucking hell! I was like, hardware shop's a good business to be in. But they were always really cool to me, and I did a little bit of work with one of them, maybe even both of them, like out of away from that, and I respected them. So I couldn't open a shop. They've been talking to me, telling me prices they get stuff from wholesalers for, like just chopping it up with me. I can't now go use that information and open up a shop locally and fuck them. So I never, even though I knew it was a good idea, I never made any steps to make it a reality. And then they closed. And then when they closed, I knew the other local shop, which was Bright Light, was a fucking shit show. I've been in there before. And I was like, there's an opening. And then when I looked at
opportunity.
The map, I looked at the map and I saw there was no other hydro shop within that general area. I approached you and
rest is history. I remember when you approached me. I was like, man, I need an out, because that was it. I was doing some bullshit kind of business thing.
You were selling. I remember this. I'll never forget this.
Go on.
You was gonna sell the flashing band that
yes.
their arms when they were running, and I remember saying to you, "That's gay.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Let's do something proper that can actually make us some money."
Yeah. It was a good idea.
Listen, the thing is, it was a good idea.
Yeah.
And and even if it would have tanked, you would have learned so much.
Yeah.
Who knows? You would have maybe gone like the e-commerce.
E-commerce.
You would have gone in that direction.
Yeah. I think that's what one of our guys. What's his name? One of our guys, big guy. What's his name?
What, one of our?
Yeah, South, big Asian guy. Usman. Fucking hell, how can I forget his name? Fuck me. So he made a load of money on Amazon.
Doesn't surprise me. You see them Asian boys,
yeah.
Not your Asian, the Indian Asian.
Indian Asian, yeah.
They are fucking switched on, mate. When it comes to money, they're probably, bar Chinese people, No, actually, because you've got Jewish guys as well. But of all the ethnicities, I'd say like the Indian guys, when it comes to like educating their kids about money and how you should make money in business, they have.
But you wouldn't know it when you speak to him. You wouldn't know it. But he's found a product, marketed it, done whatever he done, and then just done FBA fulfilled by Amazon. Just bought it, sent it to Amazon, set up the account, and made this. I think he wears a Rolex now. Drives a nice car.
Impressive.
Obviously, he's working for us now, which is not a fall from grace, so to speak. But
I'm sure he's still hustling. So if he's earning, if he's covering his bases with his job, and he's hustling, he's doing the right thing. That's how you should do it. That's it for people that are listening. If you want to make money, you go and get a baseline. Yeah, you go and get a 9 to 5, whatever you can stomach, whatever it is, a warehouse job, whatever. And then on the side, you hustle, whatever that hustle may be.
Yeah.
All these people that I see that try and just hustle and don't have a baseline, it never works. Because while they're hustling, they get into debt. And then when they do have a win, their win just covers all the debts they had. And then they have to fucking start again. And then the cycle just continues.
It's funny, like, thinking about it, how our motivations are the same but different to... So I had a job, but I was making good money. So I wasn't driven by, right, what can I do to make more money?
You was miserable.
Yeah, I was driven by fucking misery.
Your drive, yeah.
I got to get out of this. So even the idea I had of selling those lighting bands, fucking a bit pony, but it just meant I had a light at a tunnel, that something else I could focus on rather than going in every day, same old fucking routine, Groundhog Day, every day. And my only respite is that when I'm changing contracts, and then it's like a new job, new people, right? And then after 2 weeks, same shit, you know? So that's when I started that business, but that's where I was driven by misery. Now, what am I driven by? I'm driven by not losing. Driven by...
You got family.
Yeah.
What you pay for? Like, you need to make money.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just like dream your way through life. You've got mortgage and whatever the fuck else you got going on. Like,
it's funny because when I used to come towards the end of a contract, I was never scared of going, right, at the end of this contract, I'm done. I've got no other contract to go on to, but financially, I've got a little bit of buffer, but not massive, like maybe a month or a bit. But in my head, I knew I was good enough in my field to jump and find another job. Yeah. I just know it. Like, I'm going to leave this job because I know I'm confident in my own.
I never ever heard you say, oh, I'm struggling to get work. That was never your problem. Getting a job was never a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, being happy. But it shows you, like, money, like, listen, money matters, but it's like, if you're going to be miserable for the next 25 years, you know what I mean? It's got to be, you know what, everything's got to be balanced, I guess. Yeah. You need to balance happiness with money. If you have loads of money but you're miserable, your money doesn't count for anything. But if you have no money but you're happy, it's going to be hard to be happy. It's like you've got to find that sweet spot. And the complication is that sweet spot for everyone is different. Because you might want, I know you don't, but you might want Ferraris and yachts. So now your sweet spot's going to be different to mine. I just want 30 acres, everyone to fucking leave me alone.
So we covered how we met, what we did before Hydra Rose.
Yeah.
We talking about how we got started, how we came to start the business. We kind of covered that.
How we came to start it? Yeah, we came to start it. Well, if the bare bones we came to start it was we went to the camp, we had a meeting, we had a chat, we went to Amir's and built a 5-year business plan, and then that was effectively, that's when that day when we made the business plan on the whiteboard, that was in Hyderabad. What we set out for it to be and what it actually is, yeah, you couldn't imagine it. If you locked us in an office for a month, yeah, we would not have predicted what it turned up to. And this goes back to my point that we were saying earlier, is people don't start. Like when we started, did we think we were going to have the 80% of our sales were going to be online? No, that was never a part of the plan. But because we took the step, we was in the right place at the right time to capitalize. If we never started, you know what I mean, it wouldn't be here. You and me were always in that same thinking of like, there is no back. There is no back. There's forward. Either we make this happen or we crash and burn. But there's no in the middle. And we just didn't quit, bro. We just did not quit. And when the tests come, I think I'm fucking up structure of the podcast, but that's COVID. That was when we saw what it was. Yeah. And that was when we we had the best time business wise, but also the most adversity, because there was a lot of pressures on us to like. One of our partners had just left. All the other shops are pressuring us to close. Society is pressuring us to close. Family members are pressuring us to close.
Let's just frame that then. So we'd been open what, a year? So when did COVID start?
I ain't got a clue, mate.
Say 2020. I think we'd opened in 2018 December, and then so a full year effectively started in 2019, right? 2019. And so we got to 2019, and I think COVID, I remember when COVID was announced, I was at home, I was still doing my day job, and I was home and it was announced that yes, this was happening. And I remember you ringing me saying, Steve, what we doing? We closing or what? And I was like,
and when I asked you that, in my head, I'm like, we're not closing, but I didn't want to like, force it. I didn't want to, how do I say this? I know what I look like and I know what I sound like, yeah? So I didn't want to tell you what, or attempt to tell you what we was doing. So I just wanted to see what you would say. Because if you said, yeah, we're opening up, I'd be like, oh, yes,
yeah.
And then I asked, yeah, so go on, you carry on, go on, tell the story.
Yeah, I remember you asking me. I remember I was very vividly. I was doing some bullshit meeting, doing some spreadsheet shit as usual. You ringing me, and we found out about this. We both knew it had been announced, and we thought, should we? You asked me, are we gonna stay open? In my head, there was only one answer. There was no real dithering. It was more of a case of dithering of.
And you know what makes it even more like heroic was the climate at the time. Everyone's panicking, everyone's moving mad, everyone's taking even though we now know the government was full of shit and was telling loads of lies. Everyone was at the stage where everyone believed everything. They thought people were going to die. They thought there was going to be bodies in the street, and we still made a conscious decision to stay open. So you have to remember, it's not how you guys feel about COVID now. We made these decisions in the height of when you were talking to Murphy. That's when we're making these type of decisions.
I just remember I was driven more, as you're saying, I was driven more to stay open because who are these people? This not closing because of this COVID. I thought it was a COVID thing because COVID exists obviously, but did it exist to the scale of what these guys are making out to be?
I remember us saying, I'm like, listen, I remember us having this conversation, and I remember saying, like, I'm prepared to die. Like, I don't want to die, obviously, and I'm not gonna fucking walk into a hail of bullets if I can avoid it. But like, I'm prepared to risk my neck to make this a success. So if in doing this I end up in hospital with this disease thing, I'm ready to risk it for a biscuit. Like that's where I was at.
That didn't even enter my mind. I didn't even think that I was going to catch COVID.
Well, I'll tell you why that entered into my mind, yeah? Do you remember when they were turning the Excel Centre into like a mini hospital? That was like a realization for me where I realized like, oh, they're actually, they've been saying stuff, yeah? That's one thing. But when you're making a makeshift hospital in a stadium, you're preparing for bodies in the street. And that's when the decision was like a serious one.
Yeah. I remember on that topic, someone done, I don't know if it was propaganda or people making it up. Well, you can kind of frame things however you want, right? But there was like, it opened and then someone done a video of, where are the patients? Where are the dead bodies? It's fucking empty. Where is everyone?
Well, you know what we knew? Well, one of our partners was one of our old partners was a fireman, and the firemen were recruited to help with moving bodies here and there, and they were present when like the coroner would be signing off why the person died, and they were just weren't even checking the bodies. COVID. Run
over by a bus.
Yeah, COVID. Fucking bumfuck to death. COVID. Fucking joke. But yeah, sorry, we digress.
Contract. So, and we can chop this up however we want to, right? How we got started, what inspired the business. We covered that. What inspired the business?
Well, that shop inspired the business for me. They were my inspiration. They showed me what could be done. What could be done, and I just took it and ran with it. That was my inspiration. And obviously, I took that and gave it to you.
Yeah. So
your inspiration was seeing the fucking numbers in company house, mate.
Yeah, that was my inspiration.
That was your inspiration.
No, the inspiration was for me was knowing that financially it can work. It was like, and more out of curiosity and more out of survival of, it means, is this a lifeline of me getting out my 9 to 5? Yes, take me with you. Take me with you. Let me get out of here. So that was my inspiration for this business. What were the early challenges? Talk us through the first steps and early decisions. Well, the first decision we had to make was where to set up. I remember looking at, there's one place I remember looking at, it was in that fucking arse end of nowhere. And it was like next to, do you remember?
Cows and shit.
Yeah, it was in the middle of nowhere, but it was kind of like an end terrace thing going on.
Road. Terrible place for
Yeah.
Terrible place. And you know, in them cul-de-sacs, there's always nervous neighbours. Everyone's going to be fucking looking out the window. Could you imagine if we would have had Arctics coming down there, like dropping off deliveries?
Yeah.
Chaos.
I tell you, the other place we looked at, it was opposite a school. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember. And I remember saying to you, we're going to be discreet, bro. It's not a big deal. And you was like, fuck no, we're not doing that. We never did it.
We always try to give ourselves excuses, but deep down inside we're like, this ain't going to work, man. This ain't going to work.
A lot of the times you're the voice of reason. Because I can shoot from the hip a lot.
It works both ways though, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, sometimes shooting from the hip works, you know, sometimes it doesn't.
And then this property came up and we just like, it fits our budget.
It had the gates.
Obviously
it's a shit show now, but when we first came here, the business park was very well looked after.
Yeah.
Obviously it's a shit show now, but originally it was really good.
I remember now, another place we looked at, it was like a business estate. I know you remember this. We all rolled into this business.
And everyone spam around us like staring.
Yes.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, fuck that, this ain't it.
Because I think they all knew there was an empty unit.
Yeah.
And they were like, who are these guys?
They were like pros when you had bread. They were all just fucking hanging around.
Yeah. So that was our first decision. The first obstacle that you remember, I remember what the first obstacle was.
Go on. So we're going to say the same things, but then no one would give us an account.
Yes, yeah. I remember we put some.
I remember us thinking we're fucked.
Yeah.
We are fucked.
Yeah.
Go on, you tell it better than me.
We sunk money on deposit. It was like, right, we've got the property now. Let's ring these people up and get accounts and start buying shit in and selling it.
Yeah.
Who did we ring first? It was Hydro Garden, Highlight, Eden. I remember finding a website. It's really weird. This one hydro store had listed all of the places where he got their stuff from. So it's like a quick, an actual blueprint. Weirdly enough, I found out that shop recently shut down now.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. But yeah, it was like a blueprint of who to call. So calling these people up, and it was Nutriculture. That was it. They were the first people. Nah, ironic that is. They fucking muted that shit.
That is the most Chinese fucking ringtone ever.
Let me just take this call quickly. Hey mate, you alright? I'm good, mate. I'm good. What's going on?
We're doing a podcast. Still taking business calls.
And then from those four corners, the lowest point, and then that's your minimum height you can go that it can be. All right, yeah, let me know your measurements. All right, nice one. All right, bye. Where were we?
There's never a more Steve thing in the world than you've taken a call.
I'm always here, mate. Always here for our guys. What were we talking about?
Fuck, Rose.
How we started, what inspired the business. Our first obstacles, opening accounts, Nutriculture.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
That was it. Fucking hell. I remember when they were like, it was a guy called Bill, his name was. I think he works for Monkey now, I believe.
Everyone works for everyone.
Dude,
cycle around.
yeah. But he just sounded like a good guy. And he was trying to make it work for us. And I think he was going back to whoever. And he couldn't open an account. I was like, fuck. And then who else was it that couldn't open accounts?
Basically everyone. No one
Yeah.
open an account. And we found a few.
Hydro Garden and Eden. Hydro Garden, little Dan, he came to see us. I remember him coming to see us. And he looked at the space, and in my head I was like, we almost need to sell ourselves or who we are, just telling our story. And then he's like, yeah, I'll see what I can do. He went away, called us the next day, gave us a green. I was like, yes, finally, fucking account.
Yeah.
And Eden as well opened an account with us. I think we were just opening, those were the only two suppliers that worked with us at the very beginning.
And obviously Eden, there's loads of fucking politics of all the wholesalers.
Yeah.
We've always been there from the start, good or bad, or for better or for worse.
Yeah.
Always been there.
And then we started learning the products, and I know that was it. That was it. I remember once we opened up. No, we'd opened up, and we were like, "What the fuck do we need to buy?" And we went to your pal. I don't know what. Yeah. And he gave us. I've still got it.
That list.
Yes, I've still got it to this day. He literally said, "Oh, you need this, and this," and that's then what he gave us the names of the suppliers, and that gave us the other blueprint of who to call and what to buy. Yeah. I've got that list. And he's like, "Yeah, you don't need this." I remember he
what
said,
happened to him? I know he's not. He doesn't have a shop anymore.
Who did I speak to?
He was all right.
Yeah, someone came in the other day and said they I think he's a roofer now.
Okay.
Yeah. He's out of it.
So many people with like hydro shops just fucking tank.
Yeah, I think people, but I think as well, one reason what the other variable is people get older, their priorities change, their circumstances change. So where it's cool and easy to have a shop, you get older, you get family.
A bit pushback on that. It's not even that, bro. That's like a honourable, like it's not. It's like they have terrible business acumen. They don't have their tax money put to the side. They don't pay bills when they should. They take profit out. They should leave it. They just do terrible
business decisions.
Job, of running the business. That makes it easier. If you get some money, you buy stock and you sell it. It's not so simple, man. I wish it was so simple, but it's not so simple.
I thought it was simple.
I thought it
was right. Open a place, buy stock, sell it, make a bit of money.
Yeah.
Repeat. You know. I remember we only had so much in the budget, and we bought 1 5-litre canner. And I remember our milestones of, I can buy 2 bottles of 5-litre canner now. We can have 2 bottles on the shelf.
Our shop was so bare when I think about it.
Proper bare. Go on.
Sorry.
Go on, Els.
Oh, it's sort of solar in it. Where's the dustpan and brush we had up here?
Oh, dustpan and brush. Oh, we're back on.
What was we going on about?
Refresh. Coffee refresh. We talk about how Nutriculture didn't fucking open an account for us. So I don't hold it against it. I get it because
I don't hold it. I'm not upset about it at all. If anything, now it's like a.
I wasn't upset then.
No, I wasn't upset.
It was. I got it. You know, I understand.
We needed to somehow fix. It wasn't like a. Yeah, it wasn't personal.
It was more of a case of right. Obviously, I was like, "Fuck, what we're gonna do? Fuck, bro." And then we worked out right. We can't get this now from this supplier, but we can get it from this supplier. All right, okay, that solves that problem. But Nutriculture was a specific problem because they were supplying quite niche products, like all their systems, right? I don't know how we got around that. I think we called in a lot of favours. Yeah.
A lot of favours.
A lot of favours.
People whose names we will not mention, but I think a lot of favours got called in. A lot of shit just got figured out on the fly. As we could, when we could, however we could.
Yeah.
And we wasn't exactly super busy. So we didn't have too many conundrums to figure out.
What was your first memory of when we opened up? What one thing sticks out within the first year? What one thing?
When you didn't know what a fucking carbon filter was.
I remember to this day.
I remember looking at your face, and you was like, you would have thought that you were an expert and you knew everything. And he was talking about this carbon filter and he's giving his big explanation. And I said, so where is it then? It's like, it's fucking here, mate. It was fucking hilarious. But you know what? That triggered in you, yeah? After that moment, because obviously it's probably a little bit embarrassing, you went balls deep in learning every fucking product, everything that it does, and from that day, that never happened to you again.
Defense, I think people make their mistakes now. They look at something long and fucking silver aluminium tube, and they're told that's the filter. And then when you see an Isomax, oh yeah, that's the filter. Or you see a silencer, oh that's the filter thing.
Listen, you don't know what you don't know. You know, if you don't know, you don't know. Like it's not like you can go to college and get a degree in this area. If someone has not shown it to you, or you've not had previous experience, you won't know what it is. But it was just funny. It was funny at your expense.
If you was to put then an Isomax, a filter, an inline filter, a silencer, all next to each other, and say one of them's a fan,
I would
one's
say
a filter, you wouldn't have known.
People wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
They wouldn't know.
An inline filter and a what was the name of the fan?
Just Isamax.
Isamax. They still make those.
Yeah.
They upgraded them now. They're not these heavy metal.
No, they still are. But there are
a shit ton of air though.
Yeah. So there are
like a fucking Concorde.
the EC versions of it, but for us, the QMax I think it's called. But we don't sell. They're quite expensive, but we don't seem to sell that many of them for some reason. In fact, I don't think we sold any ever. I'm sure some shops sell a lot of them. Anyway, digress. So what was my first memory of when we first actually opened? That memory was when we kind of hadn't yet opened our doors.
Yeah.
My memory.
You can talk about the 2 geezers that walked in.
Fucking yes, I am.
Yeah.
I remember. Were you there?
Yeah, because I was sweating as much as everyone else.
So to frame this, we'd open up maybe 2, 3, 4 months, and we weren't busy. We weren't kind of.
No footfall.
No footfall. No one's beating our doors down like Frank had promised. Are we saying your name in this podcast?
Yeah.
No one was beating down the doors like you had promised before. We're like, yeah, open up. There'll be loads of customers. We'd open up 3, 4 months, no football, jibs and jabs coming in, or people who'd come in, they'd ask for X, we wouldn't have it. They'd ask for Y, we wouldn't have it. They'd ask for Z, we'd have a little bit of it, and like, fuck. So when someone then came in, this mythical customers coming with the list.
They were Albanians.
Yeah, they came in with lists, and I don't think we had a radio on at the time, so it was this big warehouse, empty with no stock. They walked in with their list, and I was like, right, this is the moment. This is the moment. I think I still had this laptop. They gave us a list, and they said, "Oh, can you give us a price on these things?" And I think you and Thing were like, "Yeah, go on, Steve," because I was like the guy who knew the stock, knew the prices.
So we were over your shoulder, like.
Yeah, but obviously, even to now, I don't know the prices off the top of my head of all the products. So I don't know the cost prices, and I didn't know the retail prices. I've got a better idea now, but even back then, yeah, I had to fucking Google these things, right? Google, right, he wanted a Blue Lab truncheon. How much is a fucking Blue Lab truncheon? Go on our system, right? We sell it for 90 odd quid. How much is everyone else selling for? Oh, they sell it for 70 quid. Oh, fuck, well, okay, we'll do 70 quid. But in my head, I'm not going to give you that price, because I know lots of people sell these products online. And
but the context is you're doing this all while there's 2 big Albanian guys staring at you.
Yes.
You and Brendan are over your shoulder, like.
And you could hear a pin drop, and I'm going.
Tension.
And I think they kind of.
Yeah. It felt like a fucking eternity.
And I think I got through like 3 or 4, 5 products. And I think they were like, yeah, we'll come back. And we use that as come back.
Never saw it again.
Yeah. Fucking hell, that was jokes. Or no, I think we did give them a price on some lights, and then between us when they left, I think we might have. I think they might come back.
Well, we wanted them to.
Yeah.
We needed the money.
Fucking hell. And there was one customer that came in the other day, Nick. He was out. Yeah. He came in the other day. He came into about 2-3 weeks ago.
At one point, he was our best customer.
Yeah.
He paid the rent a few months, and we was.
He did.
And he come in and bought some stuff, and it saved us.
Yeah. He bought in. He bought a load of magnetic ballast, load of soil.
To digress,
Go on.
Do you remember? Oh my fucking god! Do you remember when that fucking trampy geezer gave you a load of electronics as leverage for the equipment that he was taking? Remember, he gave you like a laptop, maybe might have been a MacBook. He was a really fucking. He was a right grubby looking cunt. And you took a load of electronics off of him and gave him some equipment that he needed, and it just turned out it just descended into a fucking shit show. And I remember us saying, "Listen, we're never doing that again. Yeah, it's cold hard cash or fuck off." Bro, he ended up. Yeah, I only just remembered it because we were talking about this. But yeah, so you took some equipment off him.
Was this when the shop was this still pre-COVID?
No, this may have been. No, this might. Yeah, this was pre-COVID. This is when he was hustling, bro. Right. This was when he was hustling, and he did end up paying his bill. But I remember it being a right palaver, and I remember him saying, "Oh, I need my laptop back because I've got some work to do." And you was like, "Fuck you! I need my money. You ain't getting nothing back until I get my dough." And he ended up paying us in the end, and then I think he tried to do it again. Months later, he tried to be like, "Oh," and use that.
So we held his laptop for
it's collateral, yeah, until he paid.
That's jokes.
Crazy behaviour. Crazy behaviour. Yeah, in the end, yeah. But there was a time when you was Googling how much is it worth, I'm going to fucking sell it. But it all worked out in the end.
Completely forgot about that.
Bro, there's so much stuff that I forget about, and then like we'll be talking and it comes to the forefront again. I remember it.
Right. Well, okay. Well, we answered that one. What was the memorable first success?
Me, the memorable first success, and I know there were ones before this, but the memorable one was, if anyone's ever watched like a zombie film, you know, when the apocalypse happens and like the world's gone to shit and all the supermarket shelves are empty and there's shit all over the place where people have like been frantically grabbing stuff. When COVID hit and we stayed open and the shop got emptied, that's when I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And you know, the thing that solidified it for me was, I remember there was a conversation where we was like, oh, when COVID's all said and done, are these people still going to come back? You said that to me. And I remember like going through like a calculation in my head and doing like a process of elimination and remembering that nearly all the customers that came to us, we would always ask them like, oh, have you been here before? And nearly every single person's answer would be, we didn't know you was here.
Yeah.
But now obviously everyone closed and we was only shop. Now everyone knows we're here. Yeah, so now everyone knows we're here. Now you know we're here. You're gonna come back. And I remember saying like, I'm like, no, they know we're here now, bro. They're gonna come back. And obviously COVID eventually subsided and a lot of people did come back. Not all of them, but enough that we was able to keep going.
I remember that moment where it was just every day during COVID. We were just,
Mate.
yeah.
Do you remember we was living on buckets of chicken? Like we had to stop buying them because like we was just eating, because we were so busy, we'd order something, it would come, we'd stop, ravage it, and then carry on with work.
Home, get through the door, and I would just collapse in the living room.
Same.
I'd have a bundle of cash, just chuck it on the table, like, count it, I'm fucking dead.
Yeah, they were good times, man. Like when it was you, me and a worker. I know Jay came on later on, but it was you, me, and just like whatever ran. Remember we'd get the students to help us like load shit up. Like we knew we'd have to load up like bag up like 30 bags of dirt. We'd wait till the guys are here. We'd like, can you guys move like 20 guys? It's easy to quickly fill up some bags as opposed to doing it ourselves.
And I think a key turning point to what we are today is, at that time I was still getting a website up and running, and it just so coincided that the website went live. It was relatively shit back then, but do you know what? I'll do myself a disservice. It was all right. It was functional. I was using Wix rather than Shopify, and it was just coincided that COVID happened and our website was up and running.
Say, when you was using Wix, Shopify wasn't even that big a deal. Shopify kind of evolved as you was using Wix, and then as you kind of figured Wix out, you was like, Shopify thing's way better.
Yeah, I think Shopify wasn't even in the conversation.
Yeah, I don't remember it. I don't remember it being a thing.
Yeah, I remember applying loads of time in a Wix, and we got up and running, and we got a few online orders, international ones as well. During
remember we didn't do them. We didn't do internationals for a bit because we just couldn't. It just seemed like too difficult, and then something changed.
No, it was too difficult, but we just bit the bullet. It was like, fucking all right, we just need to.
No, but initially we didn't. Yeah. Initially we was only going to do domestic orders.
Yeah.
And then I think they must have just.
It must have been. I think it might have been a technical thing of.
It was.
Yeah, something happened.
Now you got to remember, it's very. I use this word loosely, but it's very easy now for us to like ship internationally. Where before we had the protocols down of like who to talk to, what to do. It was a fucking nightmare.
Do you know what? And it's weird though, because in one way it's easier now, but pre-Brexit, shipping stuff abroad was fucking easy. Shipping something from here to France, from here to Germany, to Italy, wherever, it was the same as me shipping to Manchester.
Yeah.
I just slap a label on it, done. Now you just fill out all the bloody forms.
To this day, I still have never, like, on a personal level, ever experienced anything positive from Brexit. Like, I'm not involved in politics. I don't vote, but I wasn't for it. Even though I didn't vote, I wasn't for Brexit. And since it's happened, I've just nothing positive seems to. All it seems to happen is just cost me more money.
I didn't vote either, but in my head, it would be good for Brexit. Yeah, look at all the money coming back in.
That really your opinion?
No, it's what the opinion that's been kind of.
Yeah.
But that said, you're always gonna reach for things that you believe. I thought there's a saying for it. You know, if you want to believe in something, you read into what you want to believe. That's it. So in my head, like, yeah, get our country back. It would be good if all these millions that we're giving to Europe, the EU, we get to keep that money back. We get to save all this money.
We just give them to Ukraine instead now.
Yeah. So anyway, we said we wouldn't talk about politics. We descended into politics.
Vote. We should be talking about no
I
politics.
know. That's what people say. If you didn't vote, you got no say in politics. What are you talking about? You can vote. So first memorable success we spoke about. Getting the first customer, first revenue breakthrough moment. Breakthrough moment was COVID. We spoke about. Before we move on to that, there was one specific moment I remember getting our first Canna bike. That was it. Because I remember before we opened up, and I was doing my research, and I'll see people on Instagram, these other stores showing off their Canna bike, Canna this, Canna that, and it's all about Canna and Canna merch, and it looked like if you had some type of Canna merch, yeah, you was a store. You was a store to be noticed. So when we got our Canna bike, I was like, wow. Yeah. Behind the scenes, running the business, key aspects of the business today. What are the key aspects?
Well, service.
Service.
And service. Don't get me wrong, I know there's products and getting niche products, but it's like we could get all the niche products, but if we didn't treat the customers properly, yes, you know what? I guess it's a combination of getting products when they first come out and showing everyone to them, and the service. Like,
what makes us different is service. What drove you that is because you've experienced all the other bullshit stores.
Mate, I remember going into Brightlight to get something, and there'd be some geezer, must have been in his 40s, 50s, fucking skinny guy, face like a fucking slapped arse, Bro, you would go in there, and it was immediately hostile. The minute you walked in there, it's like, I'm uncomfortable, the minute I walk in there. And you ask this wanker a question, and it was like, do you know when you go to, like, maybe you've never done it, but like if you go to like a job centre or something like that, the people are not nice for the most part. Like, they're just like giving you the bare minimum of service. And it was 10 times worse than that. Like, I think I asked him a question and he kind of was like, and just like kind of gave me a half answer. Yeah, and it's like, I was just like, I'm about to part with my money here, and you can't even be, I don't even want a lot. I just want the bare minimum, just the bare minimum. And you can't even give me the bare minimum. And I noticed that in the other shops I went in as well. It's always like they was doing you a favor. And you know what? Because there wasn't many of them, they could have that attitude. But then shit changed. How funny is this, For just funny, right? If that guy had been nice to me, maybe we would never have put him out of business. Because imagine, his attitude towards me had a direct effect on his business no longer existing. Because when we opened, we took him out. Yeah. So maybe if you'd have been polite to me, mate, you'd still have your fucking business.
Why do people do that though? Why do people, it's like they can't, it grinds my gears. When people ask, when you get staff, like employees that don't give a shit, I get it. It's not your business, you don't give a shit. But when you own a business and you don't give a shit, that doesn't fucking compute. I just don't get it.
Well, I think it's just they were able to operate like that and still do business. So we put it's quite a lot of energy to give a good service. Yeah. So if you don't give a good service, if you give a shit service, so imagine we're giving a good service, but we're still making the money as the people that are giving a shit service. What is the motivation for us to give a good service, So collectively, everyone's giving a shit service and they're making money. Why would you put the extra effort in, Because at the end of the day, everyone's in it for money. And if the money's not translating, like if I can treat you like shit and you're still going to spend your money, then...
Do you know what, though? I
wouldn't go that path personally.
No, I tell you, this, why would I...
Yeah.
Just having a courtesy, like, I don't have to give you A1 service, but why are you talking to me like shit?
And do you know another thing I'm thinking it might play into it is that I think a lot of the shops were cliquey. Like very cliquey. Like, don't get me wrong, if you was a customer, I don't know because I never was one of those customers, but if you was a customer spending 20, 30 grand with them, maybe their attitude was different.
Yeah.
Maybe they saw...
Were you going in there buying a jiffy bullet?
Yeah. Well, maybe I wasn't spending a lot of money, but a couple of £100, but maybe that's what it was. Maybe unless you was a heavy hitter, they weren't really interested in you.
To be Fair though, actually. This will be our first jiu-jitsu analogy. Is this the analogy where someone comes in to jiu-jitsu and you don't really like, you're not here for, you're just fucking seeing what it's about. You might have seen a bit of UFC. I'm not even going to talk to you.
Yeah, it could have been a bit of that.
Yeah.
It's not a bad analogy, but with jiu-jitsu, you have to earn your respect. I shouldn't have to earn my respect by spending money with your business. The minute I enter and I'm polite, I should be
given a courtesy.
Yeah, with jiu-jitsu, people come, they waste our time, and then they don't come back to training. Whereas I'm not wasting your time, I'm immediately giving you money. I could understand maybe if I came in and I'm asking loads of questions and I'm not spending any money, but I'm spending money. I would have been like, imagine, their service was so bad, that their shop was, I think, 20 minutes from my house. And I used to drive to Sutton, which was 50 minutes from my house. All because of service. Just because of service. No discount, no difference in price comparison, just because they were nice to me.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it still holds.
It goes a long way.
What it does, and no matter what industry, if you, it's like if you go to a restaurant and they serve good food, but the service is shit. I'm not going to give you my money. 100%. Why am I spending money with you?
But I'm quite a big tipper, yeah. Like when I'm eating, like I'll tip like 20 quid, 30 quid, 40 quid, yeah. Listen, yeah, if your service is shit, yeah, I don't care how good the food was, yeah. If I didn't like the attitude, yeah, I'm not giving you nothing. Not a penny.
Yeah, there's service and attitude in talking from a restaurant point of view, like attitude wise, I guess it still doesn't change how I'm going to tip. I'm not going to tip you anyway, but your attitude will determine when I'm going to come back and spend money with you.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be.
Other aspects of the business, what makes us different, how we operate today. So service, we spoke about products, new products. Why am I like a fucking magpie all the time?
That's a personality thing.
Yeah.
That's a you thing that you bring to Hydro Bros, because it's not me innovating with new products. That's all you. Anytime there's a new product, if anything, you're showing me new stuff that I've never seen before. But that's just your character. Even out of here, like the what's the glasses you've got? The Meta glasses. Like, you're a gadget guy, innit? You like gadgets. And also you're a gadget guy that is very efficient minded. So if someone brings out a gadget and it works, yeah, you're here for it.
People call me, I call myself lazy.
Line between like efficiency and laziness, because like you can get people who are so hyper efficient, it almost seems like they're lazy, but they're not. They're just efficient. Sometimes being efficient allows you to be lazy. If you wasn't efficient, you couldn't be lazy. Like sometimes laziness is a byproduct of efficiency. So like if you can work for 10 minutes a day and make 10 million pounds, you might be a bit lazy. But I've got 10 million pounds, so suck a dick. You're not lazy though.
No.
You're not lazy at all. Not at all. If I had to describe you with words, lazy is not in there. Crazy, maybe. Not lazy.
How do we get on topic in terms of efficiency? Yeah, gadgets. I like gadgets because they help people become efficient. If I'm spending 2 hours to do something and this gadget can do it in 5 minutes, or at least in half the time, you know?
Well, good reference is auto feeding.
Yeah. Irrigation.
Why the fuck is anyone at this in 2025?
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what your circumstances are. Yeah. I don't care how poor you think you are. You don't need to be hand feeding. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Maybe at the beginning stages,
when you got small things.
Going,
but when
what's
you got
going, why are you hand feeding? What are you doing?
When I hear about these people, they say they're hand feeding. I ask them, how many plants do you have? 20, 30. Oh my God.
Wow.
I've got these images of people cooling down and just.
Bro, I've been there where you've got you can't get to the back and you've got
drain pipe it.
A pipe, yeah. You're pouring the water into the pipe like a fucking retard. Yeah. It's not the way to go.
Well, it's the problem of it though. You can't call in. At least you're
way, but not the smartest
way. Not the way. Irrigation. What was your? I guess you've answered the question, but what was the turning point for you to move to automation?
It's efficiency, just time, like
time, efficiency.
Obviously, I just fucking run the gym, like run the shop and work the gym. But back then, it was like you want to be in and out. Like if it's don't get me wrong, if it's at your home, that's different. But even at your home, like you want to be in and out. Well, when it's not by your home, you want to be in and out because the less time you're there, the less chance there is for you to get in any kind of issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
But even if it's at home, it's like you don't want to. I've got shit to do. I don't want to spend any more time doing something than I have to, and also it erases the human error. So you forget one.
Yeah.
You know? Say you're doing something and someone calls you and you forget it and you don't feed 5 or 6. Now that's a fucking problem. Where automation, it takes out the human error. You just need to check that the automation is doing what the automation should be doing.
Yeah.
Which is done.
Yeah. The technology will work whatever you program it to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just an extension of you. If you're super unorganised and a bit of a fucking spastic, then it's probably not going to work well for you. But you know, if you can operate an iPhone, you can use every bit of technology that we sell in the shop.
Yeah.
Nothing in here is more complicated than an iPhone or an iPad.
Yeah.
If you can use those, you can use everything else.
What's been refined? What's been refined over time? What's still? No, that's a gay question. What's been refined over time, and what's still a work in progress?
In what respect? Products?
How we operate as a business. What we still working? What's still a work in progress?
Or our business acumen. Like that is still a big. Listen, we are way more business savvy than we originally was, but we are not like where I would like us to be. Like to use another jiu-jitsu reference, we're not black belts in business. We are not black belts. I would say we are good blue belts at best. Like it would be nice to have a black belt around here to give us like it would be nice to have a mentor. It would be nice to have someone who's like already a millionaire or been a millionaire, who's already been through some shit that we're gonna go through or have been through or potentially could go through. Because right now we just do everything off of you and me. If you and me can't solve it, it's not getting solved. As of yet, nothing's not been solvable. But I'm sure there's been problems that someone could have said, "I'll just do that," and it would have saved us a lot of, even like a bookkeeper. We've had this bookkeeper. Sorry if you see this. She's a fucking tosser, and she's been giving us so much grief. Where I'm sure if someone in a better position would have just been like, "Look, use this bookkeeper, they're really good, and use them in this way," as opposed to having 3 years. No, no one. But we never had a mentor. We never had one. And I would say I've only been, again, I'm not a philosopher, so I'm going to not use the best words to say this, but I've only been in a headspace, I would say, in the last 2 years where I could even have a mentor. Because if someone would have tried to give me a mentor 4 years ago, I'd have been like, fuck off. I don't need a fucking mentor. It's only now where like we've had so many problems and I've seen so many things and I'm more experienced. I'm like, no, I would love to have a dad. Before I was like, no, you can't tell me what to do. Now I'm the polar opposite. I'm like, please tell me what to do. What should I do? Yeah, anything. You jump. How high? Tell me. Yes sir, no sir. 3 bags full sir. You want a coffee? I'll go get it now. 2 sugars. Yeah, perspective is totally changed. Nothing like having a fucking check.
So our business acumen is what we're. I like your analogy. I like your analogy of jiu-jitsu. Always a good jiu-jitsu. How do we make decisions? How do we come to decisions?
No decisions are made in Hydro Bros independently.
Yeah.
Like you don't make a decision and go off and do something, and I don't make a decision and go off and do something. We have an idea, we talk about it, and then we decide together how we're gonna move forward. And normally, I'm like, fucking murder his family. And you're like, no, let's take 2 minutes. Let's mediate.
Let's not murder his family just yet.
Yeah,
let's use that as our kind of safety net.
Yeah, we make good decisions. As a team, we make really, really good decisions because I can shoot too much from the hip and you can sit and think about things for 20 years before you actually execute them.
I think that's a big balance because where we come up with, well, should we do this, should we do that? I'm like, well, we can do that, but what about this, and also about that, and before you know it, I'm spending so long thinking about what could go wrong or how we could do things better that we just end up not doing it. Like,
yeah.
For example, this podcast, when do we spoke about the end of last year, and now here in January, we're doing it, you know?
And even now, even to use this as an example, I had to say, no. You was like, oh, no. I was like, we're doing it next Saturday. I don't care what's happening. I don't care if we haven't got. We're doing it. If it's shit, it's shit. But let's take the first step. Yeah.
Just record. Just start it. What are the key values we're prioritizing running the business? I think we'll cover this.
I feel like I'm repeating myself. Customer service, and fucking more customer service. Like, because the customers are like the blood. Like, there's no customers. This is all done. Like, you don't treat your customers right, or your customers don't want to shop with you. This is all over. This is all finished. No customers, no industry, no. And that's another reason why I wanted to do this, because I feel like you and me are very similar to a lot of the customers, and a lot of the customers can look at us and be like, see, we're genuine. Like, we're not corporate suits trying to, how can we squeeze money out of you? Like, we just want, the way we see it is, if you win, you're going to give us repeat business, and we're going to win. So we're never like, just selling that shit. We've got a rent to pay. We don't do that. It's like, we try and take you, if anything, a lot of the time to our detriment, but we try and give you more information than you need. Like, our goal is always for them to win.
I say this all the time to the customers that come in. I am the best anti-salesman. I will probably you come in wanting a list of things. I'm like, why do you need that? And you've seen this firsthand.
Yeah. Like, when I took Steve, because I was trying to buy a business, and Steve started problem solving all the guys' problems.
I just couldn't help myself. Like, why do you need that?
Shut the fuck up! I'm trying to get the price down. I'm not trying to push it up. Did not buy said business. Did not work out. Well, basically, I don't like to. I have to do it because Steve's very particular. But I personally don't like to go into any business without involving Steve, whether it's on a partnership level, or whether it's him just looking over it to make sure I'm not missing something. And I wanted him to partner up with me on this business, but at the very least, I just wanted him to look over it and make sure that there's not some technicality that I'm not seeing. And Steve started looking over the technicalities and started fixing them on the spot for the guy.
So it was a dog food business.
Yeah.
And he opened a business. How many years had he opened?
I don't know, a couple of years. Yeah.
And he was, for whatever reason, he wanted to sell it. And I was looking at his numbers thinking, oh, he's all right. But then I saw his numbers, it kind of just dropped off. I was like, why was that? Oh, the van broke down. Well, in my head.
So Steve starts problem solving.
Yeah, I'm like, why don't you just get another van? I've got no money. How much is a van?
And I'm there like, shut the fuck up, shut up.
But I was trying to get to the bottom of why are you trying
but you do that after you buy the bit. You keep all that internal, then you have a meeting afterwards. We talk about that, and then we buy it off of him.
Your business was doing this.
Bro, do you know?
Because you didn't have a van, because your van broke down.
Bro, I still think about that business, yeah, at least once a month of what a waste. What a waste.
You know, it's a paintball shop now.
Yeah, airsoft's fucked. Oh, mate, that business, yeah, could have been amazing. Yeah. That could have been another Hydro Bros. Like, it was so easy. It was just there, everything. It was like, yeah, you gave a kid a puzzle, yeah. You gave him the picture of what the puzzle looked like, yeah, and he still couldn't complete the puzzle. All the bits were there. They were all there. You just had to put them together. But this comes back to like the other thing of like, this particular guy is a grower, and this is what happens. They make money, and then they think they can do business, and it's not the same. It ain't the fucking same. Like, it's a very different way to generate money.
I think that's probably why he just couldn't bother to.
Yeah. He's gone from doing 10 hours work a week to doing 12 hours in a day. Yeah. And he's like, fuck this shit. This is long. And then just didn't do the right things and tanked the business.
That was because he had a thing that I think his mum, Aaron's mum, was doing, what do you call it?
Oh yeah, was that she wasn't there at the time, but she had a dog clinic in the back. That was booming.
I think she left.
Yeah, again, because bad business acumen. They just weren't doing good business there, and it wasn't working for her, so she kept it moving.
Anyway, we digress.
Yeah, again.
Making sure anti-salesman, that was it. That's how I got onto it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So when people come in with a list, I'm almost like, it's not that I'm trying to not sell them something. It's more of a case of I don't want them to feel that they've bought something, come away, go home, and go, oh, why have I bought this? I don't need this. So I want to do my due diligence, make sure you actually need this.
And you realise that's a total polar opposite to the general model. The general model is sell you everything I can for the most I can, irrespective of whether you need it or not. That's how it normally works. So you can see why we're successful, because we've turned it on its head, where we're like, no, we're not. Even if you want to buy something off us, so if you came in and you wanted to buy X bit of equipment and it was £1,000 and our margin was 50%, and we knew it would fuck up your job, or it simply wouldn't work, we would say, well, what? So you don't buy that, bro. It's not going to work. We've just missed out on a 50% margin on something. Other shops don't do that. Oh, you want that, mate? Oh, I've got 5 more in the back if you want them.
It's like a customer the other day said, helping out with a setup, with a chip irrigation setup, and he was like, what pump do I need, Steve? I said, depends on, on the pressures and how long, how big your room is and how many plants you need. If you've got pumps already, so yeah, I've got pumps. So just get the setup, hook up that pump, and if it's not enough, then come get another. Don't get one for the sake of get one because it's the right one. The one you have, because you don't know what it is, try it. If it don't work, then come back and get one. Don't need to get one now.
Yeah, but as a businessman, as a businessman, I don't think we should operate that way. But I can totally see where it's like, well, you're here to make money. Why are you giving him? We're not a consultancy. No. Why are you helping him? But that comes down to the ethos. The ethos is to help the customer. Yeah. So that every time we get lost in like, oh, what should we be doing? Like even in business, like that example, oh, you can sell something at a 50% margin. Yeah, you can do it, but should you do it? And is that going to result in repeat business, or is he going to buy it? But that's a crock of shit. How many times have we had customers come to this shop and be like, I'm here because so and so fucked me? Yeah. So many times. So many times. If that person in that shop just would have done the right thing, you'd still have this customer and they wouldn't be in our shop right now. Yeah. And sometimes you'll get asked, like me as well, like when I was working in the shop, I don't work in the shop now, but when I did work in the shop, I'd get asked such stupid questions, and like, I've got 2 paths. I can like ridicule this person, or I can like be polite. Like I remember someone saying to me, I remember someone bringing me a wand and be like, yeah, how much is this pH meter? And obviously I could have been like, you dickhead, it's an EC meter, what are you on about? And as much as he might have gone, oh, ha, 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 he's probably not appreciating that. I'm a fucking dickhead. But I didn't do that. I'd be like, one of these, and just totally take that out of the conversation.
What have you learned so far from Hydro Pros? Business lessons.
Business-wise, you can't do it all by yourself. You cannot do it all by yourself. Even if you get it off the ground by yourself, even if you have the original idea, can't do it by yourself. Or not to any level worth its salt. Yeah, you can have a fucking hot dog stall by yourself, but like if you want anything of substance, you need a team. And you don't just need any team. You need a cohesive team that work together and are heading in the same direction, and there's not ego battles. And yeah, that's one of the things I've learned is you need a team. You need a team. And I haven't been able to have it myself yet, but get mentors wherever you can. Man, if you know someone that's done it already, don't be pig-headed, man. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to do it myself. Fucking ask them. Because I tell you now, I'm speaking in the third person, that doing it via process of elimination is expensive and hard work. So that's one thing. I've forgotten the question, but I know that was one of the answers. Do you think it's changed you, being a business owner, as a person? Like you're, yeah. Like you are like 100% a capitalist now. Like, yeah, 100%. Where like when you was in your job, I could see you like leaning more to like socialist, like being more of a socialist. Whereas now, like you're 100% a capitalist. They're like, listen, if I work for it, I fucking want it. If I'm working harder than you, I should get more. Because you're a business owner, innit? You know, you're really boots on the ground. You're not just working 9 to 5 or just working a 6-month contract. Like, if you don't get the bone, kids ain't getting fed. You've definitely got tougher. Yep. You've definitely like got better at dealing with conflicts now. I know it's still not your favorite thing, but it's like if someone forces you, you'll manage it well. Like we've had like some incidents with members of staff, and you've had to part ways with people. And I remember we had one person start with us. Yeah, it was happening about just before Christmas. Started, the interview was great. 3 hours of their first shift, I came in. I was thinking, you're just like a shadow of what you was like at your interview.
And as they got on, long story short, after that first day, got them in. This is done. I'm not carrying anyone
I've
else.
done that before.
Yeah.
We had a member of staff who Steve carried, LaShawn. How long did you carry him for?
God, fair while. Yeah,
years,
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it? Steve carried this wanker for years. 4 years. And it was the exact same circumstance. Like, you could have literally... But you learn as you go, you know?
Yeah,
We didn't know.
yeah.
Like, we would hire people and we'd almost feel like they're a member of the family. It's like, oh, no, we've got to look after them. We've got to, like, make sure they can get to work. We've got to make sure they've got somewhere to live. Whereas, that's bollocks. That's not reality.
LaShawn I speak to randomly now and again. And, I think maybe I said the same story about me sacking someone. I said, yeah, you got to be stern. And I said, oh, so you sound like level-headed. What happened? Where was this LaShawn back then? He's like, yeah, I think I've grown up. I've grown up since then. So he recognises what he was like back then.
He had to grow up. Life was coming at him fast. Life was coming at him fast. He had to grow up. It's good because it's scary when someone like that is still in the same place they was then. We see plenty of them.
What are the things that nearly ended us as a business?
The thing that first brings to mind is when Brendan backed out on us. That was the first time since we had Hydra Bros where I felt genuine dread. Where I was like, because we was just keeping it together with his. So you'd pay £1,000 a month.
More financial thing.
Yeah. No, not even. No. Yeah, no. But the thing is, business is always financial. Even if it's not financial, it is financial. So I'll give you an example, right? So obviously he was covering the shop a few days a week. Yeah. Even though him not covering the shop is not financial, it is financial because now that means that we have to either cover it, which means we can't make money elsewhere, or means we have to fucking pay someone to do what he was doing. So it was all financial. So him leaving, we was just...
It wasn't a skill thing. It was
no.
belittle.
And it was a little bit of betrayal. Because we'd sat down and made an agreement between men that come hell or high water, we was riding this out for 5 years. And 2 years in, not even halfway, he's bailing. And not really bailing for, in my opinion, a good enough reason. Like, he bailed because it got hard. That's the only reason. He bailed because it got hard. And it did get hard. It was hard. But
it was the financial. It was both. It was the financial.
But it was the same for everybody. No one was coming here in a Mercedes eating caviar. Yeah. Everyone was dealing with shit.
It must be. I mean, think back. You're giving it what, £1,000
a month. Yep.
Each.
Your time.
Putting in time, and you got no customers coming in. You know, dribs and drabs, and then you must. Did I question myself? I
question myself loads of times, but this is the thing. This is what makes us fucking Spartans, yeah. Yeah, I see him just then. Is that like we stuck to the agreement, irrespective of how we felt. We said we was gonna run it for 5 years, and come hell or fucking high water, that's what we was gonna do. Even if we paid the rent for 5 years and it didn't work out, I could look myself in the mirror and be like, I gave it everything. I did what I could.
There wasn't any point at that moment where I was like, I didn't think, oh my God. For me, I didn't think, oh my God. I just felt, all right, cool. Let's solve the problem.
Yeah.
I didn't think, oh, fuck.
I definitely thought, oh, fuck. Because my brain immediately went to, right, I've now got to find another fucking £500 a month.
Give it, let me grab this. Hey, mate.
I ain't done this much sitting down and talking for fucking a long time, mate.
Very rare for me to be able to sit here
on a Saturday.
Move and fucking be Paul Pier and post.
But yeah, I remember what we were just talking about. Yeah, so like when Brendan said he was leaving, like me immediately, the first thing I thought was, fuck, I have to double the amount of time I've got to be here, and it's gonna like be a huge increase in money I've got to outlay.
How did we get Otis? Was he a jiu-jitsu guy?
Otis, I want to say we know Otis because someone was training and they brought him with them one time. And then, no. It was just someone that came to the dungeon downstairs to train and they brought him with them. And then we just kind of knew him from then. Yeah. Or I want to say we was looking for someone and someone was like, oh, my mate's looking for a job. Yeah. I want to say it might have been, I want to say it may have been through Aranan, Maybe. But I could be wrong. Don't quote me. Fucking Otis. That cunt was barely functioning, mate.
I know that you agree that we were
not responsible for them, but their longevity of staying here.
I don't think we're 100% responsible, but I think we're 85% because there's some factors you can't, like if you're addicted to crack, do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what we do, you're going to be a problem. But yeah, there's definitely the culture you create in the business.
We weren't good managers, not in the sense that we were.
Do you know, it wasn't even that we wasn't good. We just wasn't managers.
Yeah.
We just wasn't managers. We were just buddies that paid wages.
Yeah, all we expected people to know what they needed to do.
Yeah.
So we'd hire someone.
Yeah, we would hire someone on the basis that they knew what we knew. We thought that the baseline of humans was they would be on the same page as us. But what we've come to realize, and I don't say this to blow our trumpet, I just say it because that's what it is that like we're like, whatever that top number is, whatever that top percent is, that's what we are. Because everyone we hire is a fucking spastic. And it's like, we sit around like, why is everyone so fucking stupid? So I've just come to the deduction that we are not the same. Like whatever software we're operating on, it's not the same software they're operating on.
Drive, I keep coming back to it. It's how driven you are for something. So let's take Ellie, for example. She is someone that we've taken on, the first person we've taken on that, God, she's rare. Yeah. The drive that she's got, finding someone an employee that gives a shit about what they do. You're not an owner, you don't own any business, but you've got the drive that it's like you own the business. Yeah. You give a shit about how customers come away. You give a shit about customer service. You care what people think. You care about the service we give. Actually give a shit.
Like, that's not
unicorn.
That's not the norm.
Yeah, it's very rare to find people who give a shit. And
also the nature of our business, of like where we're at in our business, is like we don't pay great wages. Not because we don't want to. Like I would love to pay 100 grand a year and have 100 grand a year minds working for me, but that's just not that's just not reality. And you pay peanuts, you get fucking monkeys.
Work culture. What is our working culture?
Look, we are not, as a collective, me and Steve, we are not Jobsworths. We won't get you to do something just to see you doing it. Like, but we expect you to do your job, you know? Whatever we speak to you about in the interview at the beginning of this is the parameters of the job, we just expect you to stick to that. Now, you haven't got to come in some gay uniform. You haven't got to call me boss, sir. You haven't got to spring to attention when you see me. As long as you're doing your job, I'm good. So I would say, like, we're just realists. Like, we just want you to do the job. We don't want any extras. We're not cliquey. We're not going to talk to you because you're black. We're not going to not talk to you because you get the bus. Like, we don't care about all the nonsense. If you do our job, do the job, you have our respect, and we'll help you however we can.
Yeah, and I think back in the day when I first was getting people in, there was like this almost accepted culture of, oh, we own a hydro shop. Oh, it means you can fuck about a bit and smoke and take...
Generally be a loser.
Yeah. Not be a loser, but just be lazy.
And in our defense,
and we wouldn't care.
When we was working in the shop, when you and me were boots on the ground, it wasn't like that. When you and me were behind that counter, it wasn't like that. What happened was, when you and me left being boots on the ground, our business acumen wasn't at a good enough level that we put the right people in charge to carry on where we left off. And what happened is, slowly over time, what we left eroded.
I was just thinking that word.
Then we had to fucking put it all back and start again.
Yeah, and that's what we've done recently. That things are way better now.
Bro, do you remember when we was running this business with no meetings? We used to, for people listening, we used to run this business year to year, and have no scheduled meetings every week. Like, literally, we would just run it day to day. If we needed to book in a pallet and open the doors, just what we was doing. Like, it was.
Or we'd have a meeting. Oh, you're here. Oh, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
On the fly.
Yeah. Whereas now we have 2 meetings a week, every week, and it's not enough.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, which we're not in, as everyone knows, we would have a meeting every day, weekday. But like Monday to Friday, we would have a meeting every day.
Just things that nearly ended us. No, sir.
Oh, we kind of we bounced off it. Well, Brendan leaving was one of them. One of them. Do you remember when we couldn't pay when our bank accounts got closed and we
Oh,
could
that was great.
and we
That
couldn't
was-
pay any money into the bank, and I can't remember whatever you did, but I can remember what I did. I remember I was using friends' accounts to buy stock. I was using my account and my credit card to buy stock. I was using my mum's card and credit card to buy stock. My old man's credit card to buy stock, and whatever other fucking roundabout ways. It was fucking chaos. That was one of the only times we sat down and it was like, we might be done. Like we might be done.
Financial gymnastics we had to do to keep the business alive.
Yeah.
It was
These
crazy.
times people were throwing cash at us.
Yeah.
Couldn't fucking move for the cash.
I was naive as well. Maybe everyone else was, but me particularly. I would, rather than me going to the post office to put the money in on the daily, I was like, oh, do you know what? I don't want to make a trip every day.
Do you not remember?
I'd hoard it.
Do you not remember? Do you not remember the conversation we had about that? Do you not remember when like you paid a load? Basically, this isn't Steve's fault. Yeah, again, this is inexperience. Steve, the crazy cunt, went and paid like 20 grand or 30 grand, some insane amount of cash, yeah, into the bank. Obviously, the bank has lost its fucking mind, been like, what the fuck are you doing? And then it went downhill for us for a bit financially from there, because obviously we're getting asked loads of questions. Our business is already a grey area. We're not highly organised. So the fact we're not highly organised and able to answer the questions is making us look more sketchy. Oh, shit show. It's funny now. We're funny at the time.
It's weird because I should have done better. Because before, when I was at HPC, my job was to implement anti-money.
Yeah, but you're coming from a legitimate background. So in your sphere, you've made legitimate money and you're paying it into the bank. You're not stealing it as anything else. But like where I'm a bit from the other side of the tracks, I know the minute you walk in and you give them that money, what's gonna, whether it's legitimate or not, what's gonna happen from there? Because I remember you telling me and me losing my mind, being like, what the fuck are you doing?
In my head, my defense was, yeah, they can ask us, but I've got all the paperwork. But unbeknownst to me, they're like, they ain't got the time.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about your paperwork. They're like, this seems dodgy. I'm closing your account.
Is it? Yeah, it's dodgy. Done. Yeah.
Yeah.
We weren't entertaining. You can tell me one piece of the reasons why, but
Don't care.
No, don't care. See you later.
And that's another reason why.
2 weeks.
That's another reason why I was saying about like beware of the industry that you enter, because like we're in an industry now where like forget all the other problems with the industry. Just the banks, like if they say like, oh, we're not fucking with you, it's a nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. Fucking nightmare. One of the best things that ever happened to us was the online, because just by the nature of online, people have to pay they have to pay with digital payment, because the cash thing could not go on.
Do you know what? The number of people now that pay by card.
Well, it's by the
Apple Pay's made it easier.
by the powers that be, like cash is like frowned upon now. Like I challenge anyone, yeah, to go to anywhere for £1,000, yeah, and pay for something in it and see the way that people lose their minds. Yeah. I went somewhere, this is years ago, it's not even now, it'd be even worse now. I bought a laptop and give the geezer 1,700 quid, nearly fucking shut the shop. B&Q, I've given this geezer 1,700 quid. There is a person counting the money. There's a person that has to watch them count the money. And then another person has to count the money. And another independent person of the two people that just watched and counted has to watch that person count the money. They don't have to put in the paperwork. When they can't put it in the till, they have to put it. Mate, it's a fucking nightmare.
It's crazy. I think people who spend cash now, they almost feel like, just take cash.
Yeah, you feel sketchy about it. Yeah, for sure.
Just in our industry, anywhere.
Yeah. Mate, I've got to the point where I'm combative with it, where I'll just throw it at you. You're like, fuck off. There's the money. Even like these places that won't let you pay cash when you eat. Now, I just won't even say nothing. Even if it's a place where you can't eat without cash, I'll just eat. And afterwards, there's money. See you later. But obviously, the places I go to eat, for the most part now, like I know the people there, and I don't put myself in combative situations. But like if I I get so deeply offended that they won't take money. It pisses me off so much. But it's what we're in.
Do you know what? Going back to one of the questions was, why did we stay open during COVID? That was more combative as well.
Yeah. Everyone, listen, the fucking, all the other hydro shops, they won't, listen, because of how do I say this without sounding like an idiot? You tell me if I sound like an idiot. Because of how I am, people knew that they can't phone up directly and tell us to close the shop. Everyone knows, for the most part, at that point, not now because I've kind of not been around so much, but when I was around then, people knew full well you cannot call up this shop, yeah, and tell us to close, yeah. You're not going to be met politely, yeah. So what they were doing is indirectly, people were posting things on Instagram, saying certain things to make us close, and we were just like, "Fuck you, we're not closing." Like they were trying to like, "Oh, the nurses are working overtime. Oh, and the NHS is so stressed. People that are staying open, you're making it hard for everybody." And we was just like, "Yeah, suck a dick. We're not closing."
I don't care.
You don't care. Do not care. Don't care.
I think I was the only guy that was leaving the house. I could just feel everyone.
Same. Mate, I was driving on the roads like a rally driver. I was getting to, normally from my house to the shop, it would take like fucking 40 minutes with the traffic. I was going to be 2 minutes. Listen, no disrespect to anyone that had a bad time in COVID, yeah, but it was one of the best times of my life. Bro, there was no traffic. There was no bullshit. I didn't have to get a haircut. I was making money. Oh, it was fantastic. Listen, if you dickheads that run the country want to do that again, have at it.
They did do a lockdown 2, and then lockdown 2, people were like,
"Oh no," they were like, "Yeah, we're not doing that twice. You fool me once, you're not fooling me twice." Yeah.
So lockdown 2 wasn't as good as the sequel was never as good as the original. Banking we spoke about.
Yeah, the banking nearly fucked us. Brenda nearly fucked us. Jay nearly fucked us.
Accounts opening.
No, not really, because it's like we could. I'm talking like make or break, and the only make or break things I can remember was the money thing. Oh no, I can tell you another one. When Jay bought the old bill in the shop.
Remind me.
When we had the police in the shop, you don't remember? They were in the shop and they were searching a customer in the car park.
What?
So Jay got nicked. Jay was not smart in this situation. So Jay was doing whatever he was doing, unbeknownst to you and me. He gets arrested with stuff he shouldn't have on him, but he also gets arrested with $4,000 of the shop's money because we was making good money and we didn't want to leave the money in the shop overnight. And he was last man on this occasion, so he'd taken the money home. So he gets arrested with all this stuff. Instead of being sensible and just being quiet, no comment, like a savvy person would do, he panics, starts verbal diarrheaing that he fucking works in a hydro shop. This money's the hydro shop's. Next thing we know, the fucking police are at the hydro shop. They're sitting outside for ages, which is intimidating for us. Obviously, no customers are coming in the shop. Then they eventually get whatever word they were waiting for. They come in the shop. They start questioning me. They start questioning another guy that's in the shop. No, it was me. I was in the shop. It was me that was in the shop. I was in the shop with Winston. They come in the shop. This guy, Winston, he's got whatever the fuck he's got going on. He starts sweating bullets. And I don't mean that figuratively. I mean, he's sweating, like, for whatever reason. And I turn around, he's gone. He runs out the shop, disappears. Goes to handle whatever he got to handle. And I'm in the shop by myself with his fucking old bill, answering whatever their questions were. And I actually start to get fucked off. And I actually be like, and I start to challenge him. I'm like, listen, if Jay worked in B&Q and he got nicked, you wouldn't fucking be in B&Q right now. So why the fuck are you here? I'm like, whatever Jay's done is whatever Jay's done. You fucking sort that out with him, but you don't need to be here. And then obviously there was a little bit of confrontation for a bit, and then they ended up fucking off. But the moral of the story was, obviously, once the police had been in the car park, we didn't know if word was going to get around, and then people might think that, people might not want to come in anymore. And you know, like our shop would like thrive off word of mouth. So if it got round that like old Bill was spinning the shop, like that's not good for us. So it was Brendan, the Jay incident, and the money incident. Those for me are the 3 standalone incidents where I thought, yeah, we might be done here. We might be cooked.
I think for me, there's not one. You've heard me talk about it quite a lot. It's the state of the industry. That's where it's not a single thing that's happened with industry. It's like a slow. Is it going to end us? Is it going to end us? I don't know what is a good comparison, but.
Well, you know what it is we have 2 different perspectives on that, yeah. And this is like the analogy I'll use, yeah. It's like, I look at us as like, you and me are sailors, yeah, and we're on a boat and we're on the ocean, and the ocean is as everyone knows the ocean is, out in the open ocean's a fucking madness, yeah. And I kind of have the standpoint of, look, we're on the boat, we're in the ocean, yeah. We know the water's choppy. There's nothing we can do about it. The water was choppy last week. The water will be choppy next week. The water's always been choppy. It's never not been choppy, yeah. We knew it was choppy when we became fishermen. So I always am in the industry accepting that it's fucked. I know that it's fucked, but I almost, this is a terrible analogy, but I almost look at us as like cockroaches, like we're scurrying around and we'll find a way. Yeah, whatever the way is, like we're in this shitty situation that we're in, we'll find a way. Where sometimes you can get a little bit like, you can go a little bit dark with it and be like, oh, the industry's fucked, the business is going to tank, everything's going to fall apart. But you forget sometimes that it was always like this. The ocean was always the ocean. The ocean was always choppy. It's just when you first went into the ocean, you had nothing to lose. Now you've got something to lose. You're more conscious of how sketchy situation we can potentially be in.
Got a lot of staff.
Bro, we got staff, we got bills, we got reputation, we got family, lots of factors.
If it was to go completely south and we had to shut shop tomorrow, it's more of a disappointment. Like, oh my God, it wasn't like a case of, yeah, we opened it for a weekend, yeah, we closed, oh, whatever. We've opened for a long time, we've established a reputation, we've established a business, a good business, and it's just gone to shit, just shut.
So
it's closed.
If it went to shit, it would be more so because we made a wrong step.
Yeah.
We built a solid foundation now. The foundation exists. It's like now if we do a wrong step, like we start fucking getting addicted to cocaine, like you might fuck this up.
Speaking of wrong step, the next question is, what's the dumbest shit that we've done? What's the dumbest shit that we've ever done?
Dumbest?
Something that we've done.
Well, silly things that people can relate to, like leaving a shop unlocked overnight.
Oh, fucking hell.
Leaving fucking fire exits open overnight.
Leaving heater on overnight.
Leaving heaters on overnight. Not normal heaters, blow heaters that are notoriously known for burning down.
Fucking hell. On overnight.
Leaving cash on the side, going missing.
Oh, it's the dumbest shit. I'm sure there's nothing six out.
Off ladders.
Fucking hell. Yeah,
climbing.
That is pretty dumb.
For over a year using that ladder to get stock off the top of
that was probably the single most dumbest shit that we've ever done. We used to have a little mezzanine in that, so it never used to be like a proper mezzanine. It was a mezzanine made of wood, and we used to put in our heads. We had to find a place to put our tents, and in our heads we thought, where should we put these heavy ass fucking tents? I know, we stick on top of this. Yeah, we put it on this kind of shoddy makeshift.
Never fell off there, yeah, and fucked themselves up. I do not know. Especially some of the barely.
It's how we had to go up there. It was like a normal ladder you use to climb a tree. Yeah. We'd carry these fucking heavy ass 30-kilo boxes that would length of what, meter and a half up.
How many times did you smack your head on that metal beam?
Oh God,
mate! I nearly knocked myself unconscious on that thing multiple times.
I'm glad we didn't have that, because towards the end, as if you parts of it would start to bow, didn't it?
Just up, yeah. It was a roof. It was never made to store loads of shit in
so
it.
We must have had how many tents?
Oh, bro, too much stuff. You know when you see someone's car and it's dragging along the floor because there's too much weight in it? That was what we was doing.
800, 1,000 kilos plus of tents.
Why are you adding up the numbers? Yeah, because it's going to stress me out.
Yeah. And
and then inside, no, just to make this worse.
Yeah.
We're training inside underneath it all. So if it all falls down,
bumping on a wall and oh my God, that was dumb. Can you imagine if us now walked into us then?
Just turn around and walk out.
Why? So how did you get up that
the
ladder?
People that must have come in and be like, yeah, they're literally retarded. They're literally retarded.
Any other dumb shit that we've done?
No, I want to be, in our defence, I want to say, like, bro, we don't do a lot of dumb shit. Like, we may make mistakes.
Strapping people, you mentioned that.
Yeah, that was a mistake. But even that, I don't think that's not stupidity. That's just inexperience.
Yeah. I think
But
part of
moral of the
us.
story for people listening: don't strap people's shit. It's not a good idea.
Yeah.
It never ends well.
There's a few people that.
It doesn't cancel out the money we lost.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. But there's a few customers that I know that I do kind of. It's fine.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference between strap and credit.
Yeah.
Like if you've earned good credit, that's a different thing as opposed to like I don't know you and now you owe me £1,000.
Oh yeah.
Because you were short and I wanted to sell, so I was like, oh, just take it, just run me back the money.
I remember Albanian had come in. Oh God, what was his? I think his name was. They're all Fred.
Oh, who knows what his fucking name was?
He said, "Oh, I'll come in and pay tomorrow." It took about 20, 30 ballas.
Never saw him again.
Never saw him again. Never saw him again.
Live and learn, mate.
Live and learn. And it's almost. You can eat yourself up. Oh, fucking all the money you lost on that, but you see, scratch it up, draw a line underneath it, and that's what we do. Anytime we do fuck up, make a mistake, how can we fix it? If we need to fix it, just fix it.
Or just don't do it again.
Yeah.
Like if you just make the mistake one time. Like when we got burnt with the crypto that time. Like we just learned like we're not doing that way.
Yeah. I remember we're selling things on eBay. We sold a fucking £1,700 Gavita like on eBay.
I remember.
And the question, and they charge back and they won. I remember the conversation like, we go and visit them. And he was like, no.
It's not worth it, yeah. Yeah, and this is another thing where like you don't come from, because this is how when you thought in your mind it looked like, look, Frankie goes to his house, he's big and scary, he's going to give the money. But the reality is, yeah, I go there, he talks shit, I smash him up. Now we don't get the money. I've now got 3 years in jail, and we have an enemy for life. It's better just swallow the fucking £1,700 loss. Let's not do that again, and let's just keep moving forward.
Wallow in the loss, like, oh,
Or we could even do something about it. We could go and do something about it. But it's like, in the long run, was that the smart decision? I've seen too many people lose their mind over a debt and not look at the bigger perspective. Whenever I lose money, I always blame myself, and I always say, you shouldn't have invested with that person. Say now, you said to me, Frank, I need to borrow £1,000, yeah? The second I decide to lend you that £1,000 in my mind, yeah, I'm like, if he fucks me, it's my own fault. I shouldn't have lent him the £1,000. And there's so many people that don't do that. They're like, say you give so-and-so something, yeah, and that thing's worth £2,000, and so-and-so doesn't pay you for it, yeah, and you catch him on the street and you smash him up, and you don't get the money, and now you go to jail for a year, and then his cousin sees you and his cousin stabs you because you bought that. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? You might as well just fucking swallowed it and be more sensible in where you invest your resources.
about accountability.
Yeah, taking responsibility. The same they blame the guy, so you gave the guy something and he fucked you, but should you have been given this why couldn't the person buy it? Why was you even strapping it in the first place? Probably if you would have analysed all the factors, he fucking is signing on, he lives at his mum's, he's not got 2 P's to rub together, and you've gone and given him credit of a couple of £1,000, and now you're surprised that it's gone wrong. You're a fucking idiot. But that's just my opinion.
The rapid fire questions. You ready for the rapid fire questions? What was the first thing you bought for What was the first thing you bought for? No, let me think of another one. What's the hardest part of running this business? What's the hardest part you find?
I'm being honest. Not smashing fuck out of people, because obviously a stupid, quick solution when someone winds you up when you have the ability is to grab them by the scruff of their neck and punch them in the face. But one, this is not how civilized society works, and two, it's not a way to run your team. If you have to physically assault your staff for them to do the job, either you're not a good manager or you probably shouldn't have that staff in the first place. So definitely that conflict resolution.
Conflict resolution. Staffing, as you allude to, is that's the hardest part of running. Finding teams, what you said before. Finding the right team, find the right staff to be part of that team.
And even like you can find the right staff, but they're not cohesive. Then it's like, even though they're the right staff, they don't. It's wrong. So like, if you've got 2 individuals in your team and they hate each other, even though they're good individuals, they make the environment a nightmare, and then they start doing stuff to fuck each other over. But what it actually does is it fucks us over. But they don't mean to fuck us over, But by trying to like fuck their what do you call someone who works with you? Colleague, yeah. By fucking a colleague over, they're just fucking us over.
Yeah. For me, what's the hardest part of running a business? What is the hardest part of running a business? Everything for me is not hard, but trying to be the best at everything is the hardest part.
But this is the thing. The reason that is hard because it's an impossible task. There's a reason why on a football team you have defenders, midfielders, strikers, goalkeeper. You can't do them all.
That's what it is. The hardest part of running a business is lowering your expectation of you want it to be here, but it's impossible. You can't fucking be up there like that. You've got to work towards that. And that's the hardest part, not having that realization of you can't have it right now. You've got to work towards that and it won't be perfect right off from the bat.
Yeah. And another thing is that people are not going to do things how you do things. And it's like accepting that, like, say we're both heading to Spain, yeah, but you want to go on a boat and I want to go on a plane. As long as we fucking both end up in Spain, yeah, who gives a within reason? Obviously, if you just murdered 100 people to get to Spain, that's not good. But I mean, just because you've taken a different mode of transport to get to the destination, we've still got to the destination, and that's the main thing. Like if you have someone and not doing it the way you want, but the customer's still happy and the service gets provided, that's okay. Because sometimes you can get bogged down. No, I want you to pack it this way, and do it this way, and do it that way. But if they do it their way, but it still works, that's okay.
It's a good example where in my head, like, you need to pack it this way, but then they'll ask, why do I do it? And I'll listen, and then, actually, that is a better way of doing it. Again, if I can understand it.
And that doesn't happen all the time. For the most part, it's usually, you're a fucking idiot, do it the way I just told you to.
Yeah, because I've seen it.
How it goes.
Or I know they're gonna say, why don't do it like this way? I know that doesn't work. I know you're gonna say, do it like this. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I don't want to go through whys and wherefores. Just fucking do it, man.
But it's a balance between, because sometimes we've said before, like, you kind of want it like Subway, where it's like, look, you do everything. You put 2 bits of cheese in, 2 tomato in, 2 lettuce in. Like,
quality control, yeah.
And that makes sense when you're in an office, but when you're actually boots on the ground, sometimes it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have tomatoes, so you gotta fucking wing it. And use cucumber instead.
Yeah, no, indeed. If you could go back and change one thing, what would it be?
Yeah, but you never would have done this in the first place.
You know?
Never would have done this in the first place. If I would have known, what I know now, would not have done this. I would have gone into a different industry. I would have gone into a different industry that's bigger. I don't know what industry.
More stable.
Yeah, more stable. You don't have to deal with the criminal element. Yeah. In hindsight, do you know what I would have wished we would have done? We'd have gone into property. That's what I wish we would have done. We would have taken all that money we put in, we would have taken that and got a couple of buy-to-lets and built from there.
I agree. I wouldn't have done this. But at the same time, I'm glad.
No, I'm glad we did do it now. Now we've obviously been through the adversity. But like if we was playing a game now, and I died and I had to restart this game from the beginning, I ain't playing that game. I'm playing a different game. I'm going on PlayStation Store and buying something else because I ain't doing that shit again.
Not buying the hydro industry game.
Nah, no way.
It's funny that people still talk about. Hang on. Hello. Go on. All right. Be later on. I'm just doing a little podcast thing at the moment. All right, mate. All right. Bye. What were we saying?
No idea. My memory's got like.
Would we do this again? No. Would we do this again?
Fuck no.
We wouldn't do it again.
Fuck no. Fuck.
Are we glad we did it?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. I'm glad.
Like, if we sold this business tomorrow, and you and me went into another industry, we'd crush it. Because we just got so much base information.
Because if we didn't do this, or if I didn't do this, I'd still be at my job.
God knows what.
I'd have more money in the bank for sure, but.
Would you though?
Yeah, for sure. I'd have way more money in the bank for sure. Yeah.
Well, even putting. Yeah, but how are you measuring that?
Assets and. I'm talking about cash in the bank. Cash in the bank.
Yeah, but let's talk about it as a whole. Yeah. Because it's all one and the same. Yeah. Assets, cash in the bank, it's all the same. It all comes down to the same thing. If you would have stayed on that same trajectory, as a whole, would you be worth more? You wouldn't be.
No, I'd just be.
That's what I'm saying. So that's not true. Like, would you have direct? Could you go in your bank now?
Will I be more cash rich?
Yeah,
Yes.
but what is cash rich? Because inflation, right now is fucking. Yeah. I don't know if anyone.
I'm glad I've done it. I really am.
I'm glad you've done it because I've seen you become such like so much more.
Yeah.
More. Like, you was almost like a fucking zombie.
Mate,
like,
that was the question.
You was a zombie and you was just fucking one foot in front of the other through life. But now it's like you seem genuinely happy. Obviously we got the trials and tribulations, life and Hydro Bros, but for the most part, I've never heard you say, since we've started Hydro Bros, I've never heard you say I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
I used to say that. I used to say there's got to be more, because I used to go in and I'm sat there on the train. There's got to be more to this. The fuck am I? I'm just existing. Can't be going in.
For some people, it's okay, bro. For some people, they are more than happy to work at a job for 40 years and retire.
I remember to this day, I was got on a train and everyone's in their suits and fucking like zombies, miserable. And there was like a you know, some of these trains, you know, got the seats sit opposite each other, a little area. And there's these builders in their high-vis jackets. Remember, it's like 7:30 in the morning. Everyone sat there miserable, but these guys were just laughing, joking. I was like, that's the type of work ethic.
Building is a shit job for what it is, but like you don't have to deal with a lot of the office bollocks, and
office bullshit,
and
mate.
Nonsense. And I hate to say it, but it's like I think that a lot of that office politics bullshit comes from like having a lot of women in the working environment. But when you're a fucking plasterer, you're not seeing them sparky. And I've worked in the building site. Maybe it's changed a little bit now, but for the most part, you're not dealing with any women, so you're not having to deal with any like. There's no HR.
Yeah.
There's no someone called me a fat cunt. Like, no one cares. Bro, I remember. Oh my god. Bro, this is I just remember this shit. It's traumatic. I remember being on a building site and watching a scaffolder shit in a hat. Yeah. Call his mate at the bottom. Say, catch this, mate. Dropped his hat down. His mate caught it. A hat full of shit. Could you imagine in your office, if someone from the top of the escalator did that?
Oh, mate.
You'd be in prison.
I remember in the first year or so, maybe first 2 years, when I was still doing my normal day job, I sat in a meeting a few times and I was just like, please say something to me. I'm ready to take your head off. Please say something. So I think at Hydro Bros had got to a level where it changed my perception of, oh, sorry, how can I change it? How do you want me to do it? Oh, yeah, okay. Hydro Bros had made me see that there's...
Yeah, you didn't have to have like this mask. Yeah. You could just be yourself. You could be like, oh, I think maybe we should go to this direction. Could you imagine?
You might be sat from a HR perspective, but I think you would do well because you would not be... A lot of people would do well in the office because they would not be afraid to speak out, but you have to do it in a certain way.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that. I'm not jumping for hoops.
Speak out for the right reasons, but your execution in
terrible.
The office environment would not be HR.
Could you imagine my language, bro? I can't even talk to you when you're in the car with your missus on the phone. Imagine put me in the office. It's no good for anyone.
Fucking hell. But yeah, what we do would we change? We went back. We wouldn't do this again.
No, hell no. Hell to the no.
How do you unwind after a long day? What do you do?
I think you know the answer to that question, Steve.
Everyone knows the answer.
I roll baseball bats and smoke my worries away. That's what the fuck I do. Like, you see this whole... I definitely have like a dependency, but like a way I weigh it up, is my stress level, See, if I didn't smoke, my stress level would be so high, it would be more detrimental for my health, suffering the stress than like, say now we had a stressful day today, I'll go home, see the kids, do whatever life maintenance I've got to do, roll a joint, put the PlayStation on, put the TV on. I ain't thinking about shit. I ain't worrying about whatever stresses, whatever headaches, whatever I've got going on. And like, I know everyone's different, but for me, like smoking doesn't have like a super detrimental effect on my life. Like I'm still driven. It doesn't make me lazy. I still do the things that I need to do. So yeah, for me, bro.
Wine for me, mate. I just fucking Get down to the local, get myself a bottle.
Chilling.
I'm like,
The only thing I don't like about the wine is just like I know it's having like it's not good for you. It's not good for your body.
Yeah, that's one thing. In my head, I'm like,
I'm not saying listen, igniting smoke and inhaling into your lungs is not good, yeah. But if we had to line up the effects on the body between alcohol and weed, like I would say, listen, there are the few. Like obviously, I know weed sends some people loopy, but if we're not if we're not like talking about the outliners, if we're like generalizing, for the most part, weed is more healthy than fucking. And if you start eating it, then you almost take out all the negative health effects. But I think both of us are not down for eating weed. Yeah. Edibles is almost a different drug because I smoke a lot of weed, yeah. And smoking weed does not make me feel how edibles make me feel. Like edibles send me to a whole other place.
Of times, and each of those times I remember ends in a bad way.
Yeah, every time.
Go on. Else? Oh shit, you need us, don't you? Weed, wine. How do we unwind?
Just unwinding, yeah. And training.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, for me, it's weed, jiu-jitsu, and MMA. I tell you what, for anyone who doesn't know, there's no better feeling for stress relief than punching someone in the face. It is. I'm telling you now, it's fantastic.
What do I do?
Well, jiu-jitsu, like you compete.
Jiu-jitsu for me.
Strangling people on the weekend for fun.
Wine, and also making sure my to-do list is minimal. I can't unwind if there's shit to do.
Same.
Like I can't. I have to get it done.
I have to shut all the boxes down.
Yeah. If there's something burning. Yeah. Even now, I'm thinking there's shit I need to do. But anyway, here's a good question. I don't know how you answer this. It might be a difficult question. Do you have an entrepreneurial role model? Do you have anyone that you look up to?
Yeah, there's people like that maybe I see online. I wouldn't say I look up to them, but like I admire, I can appreciate what they've done to get to where they are. So like the Tates, the fucking, the Elons, the Bezos. But you know what it is? His angle is like, you can't take everything he says as literal. Like sometimes like, because of the nature of the business that he's in, like he says things for effect, you know? Doesn't necessarily mean in the exact context that he's saying it in, but you have to bring a level of it. When you're watching any content, you have to bring a level of intelligence to it, and you can't put people at face value. Like if I sit here and I say, "Oh, it's purple," it's purple. If you fucking see it's blue, then don't listen to what I'm saying. So like some things you shouldn't take them at face value. You have to the base knowledge that you have as a human, and then listen to what they're saying, and then by process of elimination in your mind, he probably didn't mean all women are hoes. He probably just meant there's a select amount of women that are maybe not good women. But I definitely have people that I admire, but I don't have anyone that I look up to. No, just because of where I come from, I haven't had anyone there's no one in my family, and there's no one I can look up to that was who's been hyper successful, or I can be like, oh, I want to be like him. Not me, you?
Entrepreneurial role model. I think I always look at everyone that's around me and see what are their strengths and how I can leverage them. Sometimes I think, what Frankie do in this position? What would he do? What would he say?
Oh, I regularly say to him, what the fuck what's Steve do? Like if I'm having especially something if I'm getting mad, if I'm getting fucked off with something, yeah, I'll be like, what would Steve do? And you know, or even I'm just like, Steve, how many times have I called you and been like, listen, this is nothing to do with Hydro Bros. Like, look, this is happening. Am I making a bad decision? And you'll either be like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Or you'll be like, no, that's good. No, you're right. You're on the right path. No, carry on down that path. So if anything, I'll probably look to you. I'll look if something's not working for me, I will be like, fuck, what do you do? So yeah, probably you. If anyone in the real world, yeah, I'll probably look at you and I'm like, if I can't do something, I'm like, what the fuck would Steve do? No, they're just phoning you anyway. But other than that, yeah, there's no person who I know personally or I've had first-hand experience around. Yeah, obviously there's the obvious ones.
The Mark Zuckerbergs, the Jeff Bezos, you look at
them. Yeah, the Joe Rogans of the world.
Joe Rogan, these other ones seem to be on socials. Jeff Wang, the chick guy. The guy who always gone about, the guy who Rich Dad Poor Dad. He's a Hawaiian Japanese guy. Fuck,
his name eludes me now.
You keep going about audio, but I need this.
All right, so Rich Dad Poor Dad is so good. Yeah, really good.
My next question was, what's your favourite book or podcast for inspiration? Was it that one?
For inspiration.
Was there one podcast you listened
Why
to?
have I
That's a good one.
listened to that? Why have I ever listened to that? Totally flipped my perspective. Do you know what? For me, as much as this isn't what the people want to hear, there's not been a book or a podcast. It's just been life. That's what's given me perspective. Like things have happened that have made me switch focus. It's not. I've never read a book and been like, oh,
yeah, that moment.
Life. Like, don't get me wrong. I've learned stuff. Even like Rich Dad Poor Dad. Like I learned a lot of shit. Like what an asset is, what an investment is. Like, I learned a lot of stuff from there. But yeah, life, man. Life's been laughing the shit out of me recently.
Not this time.
No, you need the data and you need it now.
Yes.
Yeah. And if it's not now, I don't want to know.
If I can fast forward a podcast and listen to it double time and absorb it coherently, then I would.
Yeah.
I haven't got the patience to sit there. Just get to. My missus says to me all the time. I'll never let her finish a sentence because she'll start a sentence and I know what you're gonna ask me. I'll answer it, and she got pissed off and always says, "Let me finish." And in my head, I'm like, now you're gonna spend next 10 minutes telling me why I need to let you finish a sentence. So I'm waiting for you to finish the lecture on why I need to let you finish a sentence. So just hurry up and tell me why I need to let you finish a sentence so you can get back to the original story of what you was going to tell me, which I already know what your question was.
The life of a man.
Yes, indeed. What's the best advice you've ever received? I tell you the most recent one. Hire fast, fire fast.
Yeah.
That's the most recent one.
Yeah. That was great advice.
Yeah.
Ask me the question again.
Best advice you've ever received?
The advice wasn't received from a person. The advice was received from the universe. And the advice was, don't be emotional. Don't be emotional about anything. Nothing. Do not be. I'm not saying don't love your kids, don't kiss your kids, don't be but I mean, for 95% of my day, emotions do not help me. Like, they hinder me.
Yeah.
95%. So when I open my eyes, in the morning, to when I close them, 95% of that day, if I am emotional at any point in the day, it doesn't help me. It just hinders me.
Same.
It just makes things twice as long, makes me twice as tired. Yeah. That's the best advice life has taught me is don't be emotional.
When you get when a problem appears, don't get emotional. Just how can I fix it?
Yeah.
How can I fix it?
And if you can't fix it, if you can't fix a problem, give it 24 hours. Let it sit, because the amount of times, I'll give you like a stupid example that like someone could relate to. Counting money,
Yeah.
Someone's giving me like £5, £6, It's late, I'm counting it. It's like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I'm tired, I'm counting it. I'm counting the money, and as I'm counting the money, I'm falling asleep. And I'm like, this is a simple task, but when I'm tired, I can't make a good decision. I put the money to the side, I go to sleep, I wake up in the morning, I count that same money, it takes me 30 seconds. And it's just, that life's taught me sometimes like, if you can't fix something, just sleep, just leave it. Just fucking put it to the side, go to sleep, wake up, attack the problem again, and I guarantee you find that problem easier to solve.
Yeah.
No one's really, life is teaching me problems, it's teaching me stuff. Unfortunately for me, I haven't got someone to like be able to teach me before life teaches me. At the moment, life is just teaching the shit out of me.
Yeah, no, business has definitely taught me how to adapt and overcome. So, for example, we had the Albanians ask for, this was, a couple of weeks ago, he wanted bags of soil. I was like, oh, do you want it boxed? No, bags is fine. I was like, cool. But he wanted 2 bags of soil in 1 bag. It's like, fine, we'll do that.
Which means it's got to be a super bin lineup.
Well, I didn't realise that. So as we started to do it, and he wanted like 2 pallets worth, as we started to do it, they wouldn't fit. So I was like, rung him and he said, okay, you can source bigger ones. And it's just after Christmas. In my head, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, we can, but fuck. Yeah.
Obviously to him, you're like,
yeah,
no problem.
In my head, I was like, yep, we can do that. And in my head, I was already thinking, right, I'll just go to Sainsbury's, So when Sainsbury's got them, and then the big ones we got, yep, started doing it. the see-through. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. Right, let me go again. Let me go to Sainsbury's again. Found the right ones. Right, they're fine. They work. And then one pallet in, I'm doing what I'm doing. The guys are doing what they're doing. And then they're nearly here, and there's still a whole pallet to go. I see we've run out of bags. How have we run out of bags? We're running out of time. It takes a lot of effort to do this. And you've run out of bags. I've bought more than double what we needed. Where is it? And I'm trying my best not to be emotional. I'm like,
trying to lose your shit.
Yeah. And I never lose my shit. And I don't think I lost my shit, but I was close to it.
Internally.
I was like, please don't make me have to go yet again. That was a simple solution. Go to Sainsbury's
again
and just get some more. So the solution was there, but it's more of a time constraint. I was like, right, I spend a few more minutes trying to find it. Right, don't get emotional. Just go to Sainsbury's, get some more, problems fixed. And let's just draw a line underneath it. Just don't get emotional. Because if you get emotional, you just get hazy.
Yeah.
And you just lose.
And you can fracture the team.
Yeah.
You say you talk in the wrong tone, or you say something you should have, and now your staff member thinks you're a prick.
Yeah.
And now he's not reacting the right way you need him to react.
Yeah.
At the right time.
Exactly. What's the most random fact about you?
Most random fact about me? Fuck. Oh, life's random. Fuck, Steve. You tell me. You could probably better answer that than me.
Random fact. My most random fact. The fact that I use whenever I get asked this question is, well, I told you this. One time, years ago, I tried to go for an audition for Hollyoaks. Do you remember Hollyoaks?
What was you thinking?
I don't know, mate.
You're not exactly that acting type as well.
I was like, I think I was with my mate and we used to watch Hollyoaks all the time.
There was wine involved in this situation.
No, mate, I think this was university times. Do you know what? How cool would it be? They're auditioning. Let's drive down. And we didn't go. Well, we tried to go. I think it was like West Ferry Road. And we then ended up going to, instead of going to West Ferry Road, we went to West Ferry Avenue or some shit. We couldn't find it. And then by the time we found the right place, the queue was round the corner. And I think also the penny drop moment of, yeah, we
Right of our depth here.
Yeah, this does not sound like a good idea anyway. Fucking, let alone queuing up for 5 hours to then to be told, what are you doing? Get the fuck out of here, dickheads.
I haven't got an act.
Fact.
But after hearing you speak, I think the most random thing about me is that I'm super geeky. Obviously, I'm 6'5", I'm 95 kilos, I've got a few tattoos, my black belt in jiu-jitsu, I train MMA. So I've got like a big beard. So like on the outside, obviously, I don't look like that, but like the type of stuff that I'm into, like one of my favorite series is like The Mandalorian, which is like Star Wars. Fucking, I love Warhammer. Fucking Warhammer's like no, it started as a board game, but now there's like games and shit. Like I love the lore of Warhammer. Like, I like Space Marines. Like I'm into so much geeky shit. Yeah, it's great. Like I don't look like what I am. But I'm super geeky. Like I like Pokemon. I like Dragon Ball Z. I like a lot of shit that like I shouldn't like. But luckily for me, where I'm big and I don't really give a fuck about anyone's opinion, I just do what I want. No one never says anything to me. No one can say anything to me. So I kind of like unapologetic. Say it for me. Unapologetically like these things, you know. And like where some people might be like, if you're a bit geeky and people view you as geeky, like if you say, "Oh, I like this thing," it might like people might view you as a man. They might view you a little bit weak or be like, "Oh, he's a bit of a geek." But for me, it's like, if someone's like says, "Oh, he's a geek," it's like, I may be a geek, but I'll literally punch your face in and choke you unconscious. So, well, what does that really mean?
I think the thought is, if you look like a geek and then you do geeky things, it confirms people's opinions. You're a geek and you're a knob and you're a geek.
I'm totally okay with being a geek. Yeah. I'm totally okay with that.
Let me quick look. I know time. The battery life is against us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log on to our Instagram and see what questions people have asked us, other than asking why I'm gay.
Listen, if we would have done this podcast a year ago, there's every chance we might have got cancelled. But where Trump's due to be a president and everything's getting a little bit more relaxed, we can probably get away with some of our antics. I tell you what, when we first spoke about it, I never imagined it would take this long.
No, me neither.
Anytime we do this now, we need to know like this is a whole day endeavour.
Yeah.
Which I'm totally okay with. I just need to be aware that this is the case.
Oh, I'm off the phone.
And I don't want to be rushing. I don't want to be rushing through when we do this.
Yeah, no, same.
Oh, what?
No, just looking at this. How much knowledge do you think is required to enter this industry?
To enter it, zero. You don't need any knowledge to enter into the industry. Whether you will be successful in the industry is a different conversation. If you want to be successful, you need base. You need. It's like anything. Like I don't want to like insult this person's intelligence, but it's like if you want to be a Sparky, you've got to know the basics of being a Sparky. You want to be a plumber, you've got to know the basics. So it's like you need to know the basics. You need to know it needs to be 25. Humidity in veg needs to be between 60 and 75. Humidity in flour needs to be 16. But like there's certain things you need to know. But the good thing about you is I was your. Yeah, if you didn't know what the fuck's this? I'd be it's this, it does that, it does this. And the beauty of you're so fucking clever. Tell you once, mate. Within a week, you know more about it than I do.
Is it hard to trust your employees around?
Well, before he even ends the question, I can tell you I don't trust any of my employees.
Is it hard to trust your employees around the equipment you sell?
Yes, they don't give a fuck. Like, if you're not careful, they'll break things, put things in stupid places. No, I don't trust any of them, and that is why we have CCTV and mics all over the shop. So if anyone does something stupid, they're held accountable.
So, yeah, I agree with that. And it's not that I don't trust them because I think they're going to nick shit.
No, I also think that as well.
You do, yeah?
I don't trust them at all. Like, I believe in, like, things being mutually beneficial. They know that if they're not rude, they do their job, and they don't steal, for the most part, we're going to be nice and we're going to pay them. If they don't do those things, we're not going to be nice and we're going to fire you. So I don't work off trust. I like in this I just work off like mutual. You can't afford to trust your staff because when you trust your staff, you open yourself up to being a liability. If you don't trust your staff and you expect that they're going to do squirrely stuff, it doesn't catch you off guard. No one can ever pull the carpet. So if I trusted, like, let me disclaimer: Ellie is good as gold, yeah. Ellie is good as gold. Love her, fantastic, yeah. But I don't trust her. So like, if I came here and I loved Ellie, I wholeheartedly trusted her, like my heart and soul, I trusted her, and I came here and you told me she stole $2,000, it'd break my heart. It would break my heart and it would take me time to recover from that, yeah? So I don't do that. So like, if I came in and you told me Ellie stole, I'd be like, not surprised. That's what staff do. So like, that's why I have that perspective.
So you have that perspective, so you don't get, okay, so you have a low baseline of staff.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't,
expect them.
yeah, I don't trust any of them. And I expect them to do stupid shit. So when they do that stuff, I'm not unprepared. I'm ready to address it, as opposed to before I've been in positions where I totally trust people and they fuck me and it scorns me. And it's no good for them and it's no good for me. And that comes back to the business teaching me, don't be emotional, bro. Don't sow nothing. But am I the fucking only one answering questions around here? Am I answering them and leaving?
Yeah. So,
what's the next one? You answer it.
do you have any ideas that could maybe change and propel your industry forward? Do you have any idea that could maybe change? What could change? So right now, the industry's on its ass. What could change? People talk about...
I'll tell you what... Oh, sorry, why am I answering your question? You answer.
So people talk about legalization and the laws changing. Would that help? Yeah, that would help for a while. And I think in the position we are, it'll probably help us a lot. No, let me take that back. It will help us, and I'll take that back because it'll help us a lot because we're in a shit situation. It will help us for the short term, but long term, I think
people like us get pushed to the side unless our brand's strong. I think our best strategy, if it were legal, would be to sell to the Sainsbury's, the B&Qs, the people that are just going to buy up all the stock for nothing because they have the financial muscles.
They've got the infrastructure to propel what we've built into 10x.
Or the best thing for us, the best thing ever would be to partner. Would be to partner with, oh, this is ridiculous. I know this is ridiculous, but imagine we partner with Apple, partner with Google.
Yeah,
yes,
that would be
please.
good. Do we have any ideas that would help change the industry?
Going back to the other question, obviously I know you was asking,
Yeah.
but I wanted to ask that question again.
Do you have ideas that could maybe change and propel the industry?
You know what would help? Yeah, I know this won't happen, but in an ideal world, what would help? Yeah, is if we could use if we could telekinesis, speak to everybody in the hydro industry, and get the customers to stop spending money with these people that don't add to the industry. So what I mean is like, you as a customer, you look for a light, right? And you see this one person is selling it for £50 cheaper, yeah? So you don't buy off us, and you go to this person and you buy the light for £50 cheaper, and you get a short-term gratification, yeah, that you saved £50. But what you don't realize is when you're spending money with these people, you're squeezing us, which makes it harder for us to provide you with all the new products, which makes it harder for us to provide you with the good service. So like, if you want a good service and you want innovative products and you want the new products and you want the service you're getting with us to continue, spend your money with us. Rather than save that 50 quid, fucking use that 50 quid with us, because I guarantee you in the long run, it's going to pay more dividends. But it's hard to like, when someone's got to pay their rent, it's a hard conversation to have. But that's what I would change. Spend with the people that are adding to your cup. Don't spend to the people that are just trying to make a quick buck and are here today and gone tomorrow. Because in the long run, they're not going to help you. They're not going to, when you're stuck on a bank holiday and you need the thing you need and you can't get it, we're the ones that are going to come out of our house, open up the shop and give it to you. Not these fuckers.
Is Steve gay?
Definitely.
That's another one.
Definitely.
Is Steve
Don't believe
gay?
that he's got a missus and a kid. He's got weird tendencies.
What else is there? How much knowledge you've done that? What's the views on recent product trends? More innovation or just marketing bullshit?
There is a lot of marketing bullshit, but there is a lot of innovation. Like, you're better positioned to speak about this, but like Trollmaster.
See, Trollmaster, things like Trollmaster.
Yeah, but it's funky. It wasn't as easy to get hold of. Even like.
I'll tell you what has been clunky is the information sharing. I think because the Trollmaster itself, it hasn't changed. It's just people's understanding and knowledge of it. People have thought it's clunky. Even I thought it's clunky. And it's not until I looked at it, I'm like, do you know what? It's not that difficult. And when you come to use it, you're like, oh, it's not that difficult. They actually plug and play.
This is the take a lesson from this, and this is what happens when you don't market your product properly.
Yeah.
You can have the best product in the world, but if I don't fucking know how to use it,
Yeah.
to me. And that's where these brands, in my opinion, are going to miss a step, with us, because they make these good products, and no one knows how to use them, and then we start to promote them, and then everyone starts to get an understanding of how to use them, and then they leave us, and then they go and they leave us behind.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you lot can keep doing that now, but there's going to come a time, there's going to become a crossroads where
things are noted.
you
things
can't
are
do
noted
that anymore, and you're going to bring out this new product, and you're going to expect us to promote it, and we ain't going to do shit.
Yeah, and it's not like we don't, in terms of promotion, we'll promote things if we like it, it works.
What's the best margin? If we promote what's the best margin, you'd see nothing but HPS like it. Like
not so much now.
Yeah, not so much now. But it's back to the ethos. We're trying to give good service.
Yeah.
Giving you shit stuff that doesn't work for shit prices is not good service.
Yeah. Speaking of Trollmaster, what other products would you say have? What products stick out for you? What would you?
Any product.
Let me ask the same question a different way.
Yeah,
If you are a new grower, what would you advise them to?
Any product that allows you to manage your environment without being present, even if it's a tent upstairs in a spare bedroom, these, tell me if I'm using the wrong word, these mechanisms that tell you immediately when your humidity is low or too high, immediately when your temperature is too high or too low, immediately when anything's not within the parameters that it should be in, they are amazing products. Because how many people have done jobs where like your job has lived and died within an hour? You've put the babies in, you've come back the next day, everything's fucked. Whereas if you would have had a what's the orange one? Pulse Pro?
Pro.
If you had a Pulse Pro, or if you had a Trollmaster, what was the fucking one we first had? The little square ones. What were they called? Sensor Push.
You know, they were good. And
They were good.
The only thing that fucked them is just price point and better things.
Business acumen. But yeah, anything that allows you to keep an eye on your job when you're not there, beautiful.
Am I related to Winter from Dutch Pro? No, I'm not related
Lies.
to Winter.
It's lies. They're in a gay secret society. It's a secret society together.
How many litres of PGR go out outdoor a year on average? I need my spreadsheet to answer that question.
Need a calculator.
I need that. That's a good question. How many litres?
See all this stuff from Thailand you guys are fucking loving. Oh shit. Them boys are using some wild shit.
Drinking that stuff. That's a very good question, actually. I'd like to know how many litres. I think it should be a fraction, you know, compared to like all the other litres of 20 litres of hydrogen or 20 litres of can.
Yeah, but you got to remember. They have to remember in the context in which it's used. PGRs are normally used like from week 5 flour and beyond. So you're only using them for 2-3 weeks at a time. So I guess the metric is not how many liters. It's like, I guess how many. How I don't know. I don't actually know how to measure the metric, but you're only using it for like 4 weeks of the whole run. So how do you measure that? It's literage, isn't it?
I'm very curious.
Frequency, I guess, is the better metric.
That's a good one. Have you got any other questions?
Me? Yeah. No. I'm juiced out, mate.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, mate.
Till next time.
Done?
Wrap.
The wrap.
Fuck me, I'm fucking exhausted after that. That was a lot.
Mate.
Whoa.